This season of My First Dungeon is sponsored by Mythworks. Mythworks is dedicated to sharing stories we can all enjoy with creators from around the world. They're the publishers of Slug Blaster, The Last Caravan, and of course, the Wildsea. We are thrilled to be working with a company that makes such great games and that is so dedicated to uplifting creators and the actual play community. So head on over to myth.works and use the promo code MyFirstDungeon, all one word, for 25% off your order of the Wildsea, so that you too can set sail upon the verdant waves. Once again, that's 25% off the Wildsea when you go to myth.works and use the promo code MyFirstDungeon. And with that, enjoy the show.
There are three things one comes to notice in life atop the rustling waves. The first thing most notice is the movement. The ever-shifting canopy of leaves and branches is never at rest. Even a ship at anchor will find itself swaying side to side, moving with the rise and fall of branches beneath its hull. The second thing is the sound. Leaf on leaf, branch on branch, the rattle and buzz of uncountable insects, the calls of birds, pinwolves, and great leviathans, the tree shanties sung and the whispers shouted, where there is life, there is noise, and the rustling waves are nothing if not full of life. The third thing, and perhaps what should have been first, is the danger. It's not that everything wants to kill you, it's that enough of it does that it makes no difference. This is a world where nature won, where civilization is but a gasp beneath the suffocation of a verdant growth that cares not for what gets in its way. This is the Wildsea. Hello and welcome to My First Dungeon presents The Wildsea. We are, of course, playing the eponymous game of this season, written by Felix Isaacs and published by our friends over at Mythworks, who are sponsoring this season. Woo! 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 My name is Elliot Davis, and I will be your Firefly for this season. But before we begin our journey across, and perhaps even beneath the verdant sea, we need to meet our fearless crew of wild sailors joining us this season. So, first up, you might know him from the Atom List. We have Noordin Ali Kadir. Hey, Noordin.
Hi. What's up?
Woo. Hi. Sorry for not warning you. You can, give a hello, give a shout.
My brain just stopped working the moment I heard my name.
That's all good. Great news, you don't need your brain for this session.
Would you like me to give you a proper introduction?
Hit me with a proper introduction. You got it.
Okay, sure. Hi, my name is Noordin Ali Kadir, but you can just call me Noordin if you like. My pronouns are he, him, and I go by Werewolf Feels on the interwebs. I'm a part of the Atom List. I've guested on Planet Arcana. I was nominated for an award for Goodia recently, and I also work as a tabletop writer, consultant, and TTRPG designer.
Woo-hoo. Hell yeah. And I am not going to be including from the award-winning with everybody's show on this season because everybody on this season is from an award-winning show. God. So just know that is the silent award-winning in everybody's show title. Which coming up next, another new voice to the podcast, we have Kendrick Smith from Tales Yet Told. Hey, Kendo.
Hello. Hi. My name is Kendrick or Kendo, whichever you prefer. I use they, he pronouns, and I'm from Tales Yet Told.
Incredible. Up next is a hometown favorite. You know her, you love her. We have Abby Hepworth.
Hello. You know me.
If you're listening to this show, you know her.
You know me.
You do know her. Now we have a returning voice to the show. You might know them as one of the co-DMs of Planet Arcana, friend of the pod, Jay Strautman.
Who, me?
Who, you?
Hello.
Yes,
Couldn't
you.
It's
be.
Jay. I'm back again.
We always love to have you.
Thank you. My name is Jay. I use they, them pronouns. You can pretty much find me after looking at Planet Arcana everywhere on the internet. The aforementioned Planet Arcana, also award-winning. It's cool to be in this award-winning company. What's up?
What's up?
Hey, what's up?
What's
Hey.
good?
What's up? Hey, what's
Hey, you
up? Hey,
listening?
what's going on?
What's up?
Hey, Jay.
Hey, what's
up?
going on?
Anyway,
I don't know.
last but certainly not least among our players, you're probably wondering where he is because he's usually in my seat. We have Brian Flaherty.
Hey, yo, what's up?
Man, I've never heard you
That's
introduce
not the
yourself
energy
like
you thought
that.
I was going to
That
come
is
in with.
not-
And that's
I
gotta
don't think
keep
I've
you on
ever
your
heard you
toes.
have that energy. And actually, that wasn't the last name I'd like to say, because there's a name you're probably going, where are they? And of course, this season, sitting in the producer's chair, we have Shenuque Tissera.
Uh-oh, I'm in the shadows. Bye, everybody.
And that's the last you'll hear of Shenuque.
No,
Yeah,
seriously,
yeah.
where did he go?
He's gone.
He just
I don't even
disappeared.
know.
Hello?
Producer jail.
He's in producer jail.
Producer jail.
Welcome aboard this season of My First Dungeon, everybody. It is so great to have you here to play the Wildsea. How's everybody feeling? Good?
Hell yeah.
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 Good.
Woo!
Feeling hot to trot.
hot to
Seaworthy.
trot.
Seaworthy.
Leave worthy, maybe.
I'm feeling buoyant.
Ready to batten those hatches, unfurl those sails?
Yeah. Scrub the poop
Ooh.
deck, all that good
I
stuff.
more describe myself like a boat rather than a sailor, which maybe I want to take that back.
So we're having a good time. There are one of the things that anybody who picks up the Wildsea will notice is that there's a lot of different mechanics to have a good time with in this game. And so in order to help us and the listener learn those mechanics, we're going to split them up over the course of this session 0. The first of which I want to talk about is tracks. So tracks are the way that we keep track of progress in a number of ways throughout our playthrough of the Wildsea. We represent tracks with circles connected with lines that you check off as things happen. And I figured the best way for us to get a feel for tracks and how they play in a session is to have a little session 0 track
So cute.
that I will be checking off as we go through the steps of session 0. And assuming you all do everything we're supposed to do, there'll be a little surprise at the end when it gets filled in. A little fun thing we're going to do.
I love
Treats.
A treat.
I want a treat.
And so this, in terms of the gameplay, would be what is called a hidden track, because you guys will know how long the track is. You'll see when I fill it up, but you don't yet know what it is for. So this is a 6-spot track. You will see me fill it up on our campaign tracker if you look throughout play, but you won't know what it is until it's full. So this is a hidden track. There are also public tracks that you guys will see and know exactly what they're leading to throughout play, and secret tracks, which you won't even know how long they are or that they're being filled until they come into play.
Whoa.
Fun.
So look at that. We're already
Cool.
learning mechanics. Amazing.
Scandal.
So for our listener, just a quick overview of this season. We are playing the Wildsea. We're going to be going on a 6-session adventure into the Wildsea. And also we're going to be using a little bit of fun stuff from the Storm and Root expansion, which is new from our friends over at Mythworks. So be sure to check that out digitally and keep an eye out for the print, which will probably become available over the course of this season. Kind of fun.
Kind of.
It's almost like we planned it that way.
It's almost like we planned it that way. So real quick, I want to go over for you all, before I start turning it over to your lovely voices, I want to just go over the most basic version of the dice mechanic of this game. And then as we go through the different character creation and shipbuilding, I'll call out the ways that that dice mechanic changes throughout play. So at its core, this is a dice pool building game of 6-sided dice. You will build up your dice pool from 1 to 6 dice, depending on a number of different things throughout play, whether you're bringing in certain attributes of your character or certain abilities of your ship and things like that. When you roll, you look at the highest result, If it is a 6, that is a triumph. If it's a 5 or 4, it is a conflict, so it's success with a drawback. And then a 3, a 2, or a 1 is a disaster. And so things go horribly wrong. So the interesting thing with this mechanic is that sixes are the only good, just good. So you want 6s, and then everything else adds some fun twists. Speaking of twists, if you roll doubles... you get a twist, which is a mechanical way that everybody else at the table gets to add to the narrative result of what you're trying to do. So at its core, this is the dice mechanic that plays throughout this game in a number of different ways, and we'll get into a little bit more of when and why you would build that dice pool throughout play. Sound good?
Just so I am clear, if I roll a set of dice, I'm looking for the highest number, and that determines the result, and then if there are doubles, that also does a thing.
Correct.
Cool.
And those doubles can be of any single number possible. So if I have 2 2s, but a 6, I get the best result plus a twist.
Absolutely. So yeah, the twist does not change the level of success. It just is a narrative add-on that everybody but the player who rolled it gets to contribute to.
Oh, yeah.
Love it.
That's
Best
so
of
cool.
both worlds.
Yeah, very exciting. So that's the basics, but we'll get into a little bit more of how those go. Real quick, though, I want to do a safety check-in because we care a lot about safety here at My First Dungeon. Some of us have played together before, some of us haven't, so it's important to talk through all that stuff. So the first big thing I want to talk through is lines and veils. So we have a lines and veils tracker on the campaign tracker that you're all shared on. So you can see some of the baselines there that are already set as lines and veils. But I do want to open it up to the floor on if anybody wants to add anything to either of those categories.
I added fingernail and toenail gore to our list.
Yes, I do. That is a known J. Strautman line.
Thank you.
The fact that that's branded.
Yeah.
Can I recommend that? I don't know. Mind control's a fun one.
Yeah.
I'm thinking though that like maybe it's a call and response sort of thing. That here's what the thing wanted to do. You interpret that how you may.
Sure.
Oh, sure.
I was going to say that was a vague trait of a character I was considering, but yes, was thinking of it as a kind of a less of mind control and more of like when you meet a person who's just so persuasive and like a cult leader, perhaps.
Ooh.
Ooh.
Is that a
outright
preview of your character concept?
forcing you to do something outside your will, but you're just like, damn, they have some good points.
So in general, it's sounding like mind control is like a veil-ish, where we want to make sure that we have confirmation and interpretation by whoever is being mind controlled. That makes sense?
Yeah.
Nice.
I like that.
Noordin, was that what you were getting at?
Yeah, I like it.
And also, this is a fluid conversation, and between session 0 and session 1, if you want to go into this document and adjust where things currently are as veils versus lines, that's totally fine. And also, you can message me a line or veil if you'd like it to stay anonymous, and I can fill it in at any point.
Cool.
Cool.
All right. Going once, going twice for ads before we get into character creation and all that.
Sounds good.
Cool
Bitch, can
beans.
do it.
All right. The other aspect of safety I want to talk about is that the X card is always a resource and available to everybody because we will be recording digitally. If at any point you feel uncomfortable, drop an X in the chat and I will stop play, or Shenuque will let me know and we'll stop play and talk about it, make sure everybody feels good and make any adjustments necessary.
Cool.
Cool.
And finally, kind of inspired by a conversation we recently had on Talk of the Table, I wanted to throw out a hell yes for safety tools and give people the opportunity to say what they really, really want to see in terms of content.
Ooh.
Ooh.
Like, are you saying like a specific, like I want to run into a squirrel or like
Can be specific or vague. It's kind of up to you.
Sorry. No. We've got to explore that a little bit more.
No, Abby wants to see a squirrel. I've got that. That's noted.
Abby just wants to see not a fantasy Wildsea, just classic
Regular squirrel.
squirrel classic.
They're the
Squirrel
only
Mark
creature
1.
that has survived.
Yeah.
No, I just meant like, is it, like it's like I specifically want to interact in a trade capacity, or is it like I'm looking forward to mystery?
Literally, as big or small in the same way that like a line or veil can be as big or small as you want.
Oh man,
I'm
I gotta think
looking
on
forward to
stuff.
some like resource management.
Ooh, a little resource management.
Oddly enough, yeah. I feel like especially for like when you're on the high seas or when you're like sailing, it's like if you run out of water, that's like a big problem. If you run out of that's like a big problem. Like it's
Totally.
fun to have that in the background always.
Mm-hmm.
Sorry, it's fun to have
note-
that constant
I will
stress.
note that Shenuque is writing, Brian, of course, wants resource management on our shared document. Shenuque, that's the last time I blow up your spot on what you write in the doc, I promise.
I wouldn't count on it.
For the listeners, you're going to hear me rib Elliot a lot this season going, excuse me, point of order.
I am traumatized from our Orbital Blues one shot.
Excuse me, point of order. On page 192, it says I can get advantage.
What's great is that it just means that there's somebody who will know the rules better than me, and that, honestly, I'm fine with.
Mm.
Any other hell yes? Kendo, Noordin, Jay?
Yeah, I thought about this a lot, and I struggled because the entire game is content that I am excited about. Like I really had a hard time narrowing it down, but I think the one thing that I'm really excited about is Leviathans, because I am pretty excited by the Subnautica-esque aspects of the expansion. So that's cool. And this is a more vague one and less like player driven one, but I'm planning to give the GM so many knives and I just would like them to be used against me.
You want to be stabbed?
I want to be stabbed a lot. Can
Copy
we do that?
Copy that.
You know what? I'll give everybody a knife. Just have at her.
Everyone
It's
gets a
kind of
knife.
where I'm
Okay.
at. Yeah.
Norden, what did you have before?
Yes, I'm thinking Echoes of the Past, because there's a lot of ghost stuff going on here. And I'd like to see some ghosty things and some past visions and the like.
Nice.
Ooh.
I love
Like
ghosts.
some pre-V stuff.
You are speaking my language.
Yeah. Kendo, you look deep in thought.
Just thinking. I'm trying to think of not just my usual go-tos of things, because, you need to branch out a little bit. I can't just...
Hey, I'm of the opinion that once I go to a restaurant and find the best thing on the menu, there's no reason to look anywhere else. I know what the best thing on the
I know
menu
what I want.
is.
This is the thing I want. This is my comfort thing.
I love going to a place and they're like the usual, and I say yes, and it's the entire interaction.
No, I can't.
That's my dream.
That happened to me once years and years and years ago at a fast food place that I went to before work every single time, and I pulled up to the drive-thru and they just asked me my order. That made me never go there again.
No, I live for that.
You can't even see me in the drive-thru. How did you know?
How do you know? They know your license plate number.
There was a sandwich shop near where I first lived where at a certain point we would just order chicken sandwiches. We'd go and we'd just order chicken sandwiches. There was a certain point where we walked in, the guy held up 3 fingers, I held up 3 fingers and nodded, and that was the entire interaction.
Oh, what a
And
dream.
I gotta tell you,
What a
it was
dream.
beautiful.
See, no, I can't be known on that level.
I wish to be seen. Perceive me, world, perceive
Same.
me.
I guess if I'm going with my usuals and I'm looking through to make sure, I'm a big body horror fan. I like watching things changed or being forced to change. I see that there's potentially, especially in the depths, a lot of fungal stuff that could happen down there. So I think some fungal body horror could be fun.
Dope.
Ooh.
Not in the fingernails.
Not in the fingernails, no.
Yeah.
everything that's been turned has pristine fingers from the last knuckle up. But
Great fingers. The mushrooms
They really
on those
value
fingers.
manicures
Great
down there.
fingers.
Yeah.
The mani-pedis are a really important part of this world.
Absolutely.
Actually, I'd like to lock that in. Can we make that canon?
Yeah, mani-pedis are big on the Wildsea. Sure,
Mani-pedis
that's
are
canon.
big.
mani-pedis, real big.
That should be a post. This is the next petition.
I want to turn it back to Abby because Abby only got squirrels out on this list, and I wanted to see if you had anything else.
No, she wasted it. You blew your hell. Yeah, you're getting a squirrel. Congratulations.
Love squirrels. Or just the one. It doesn't even need to be
A
more than
squirrel.
one.
Yeah, let's be very clear. You said squirrel.
Squirrel.
Singular.
Love it.
The single squirrel survivor.
Single squirrel. I want one ancient squirrel survivor.
Man, I can't
Who's
wait for the
vicious
squirrel
as
scene.
You I mean, it has to happen now.
Yeah.
That's like the problem.
Oh, it was just an example of a thing you might find.
The squirrel's gonna fuck us up.
It's going to be the big bad.
Calling it now. Squirrel's gonna be a fan favorite.
Oh, man. I can't wait
no.
to give an evil monologue with a voice like this.
Why do they have to be evil?
Oh, because he's ancient. He's
Yeah.
all-knowing.
Is this just how we bring back
If you
Vegas?
know things, you become evil in this
And knowing
world?
things
What
makes
do
you
you
evil.
learn that makes you become evil? As soon as
Same
you
as
learn,
real
you're like,
life.
there's only...
Yeah.
Yeah,
Knowledge is evil.
Mhm.
You heard
That's what I
it here.
learned in the library on the Wildsea.
The
Knowledge is
librarian is the most evil of all the characters.
It's lore.
I miss
slash.
ignorance.
Abby, I know you got a hell yeah in you.
Oh, man. You know I love a mystery. Anything I can finagle.
Oh yeah, you like to finagle. Good
I love a
call.
puzzle. I love a mystery. It doesn't matter how small. I love a finagle.
Could that mystery be? What's
What?
that animal over there?
Hey, what's
Could
that
the
squirrel
mystery
doing?
be? What the fuck is that, a squirrel?
Is that just a squirrel?
Is that just a squirrel? Is that just one squirrel?
How bushy is the tail?
So bushy.
super bushy.
Great. So we've got our lines of veils, we've got our X card, we've got our hell yes. Some game-specific safety things to note is that with twists, never establish something about someone else's backstory without their permission in a twist. But if you have a pitch, you can throw it to them and they confirm. It's just, you don't want to make anything canon about someone else's character without their permission.
Cool.
And the same goes for using whispers, which are sort of reality-altering powers. If you're going to do something that affects another character in a big way, make sure to get permission/consent first.
Copy that.
Copy that. You guys want to build a ship?
Yeah.
Sure.
Let's build a ship,
Yeah.
I think.
Let's make
so
her
we
seaworthy.
We are at the advice of the designer, Felix Isaacs, making our ship first, which Felix said is a fun thing to do because then you can build characters off of the shared creation of the ship rather than the other way around. I know you guys have character concepts, so that's totally fine, but this will kind of maybe help you narrow down which one you're feeling so that we all feel like a crew on the ship.
Cool.
So, the way that we build our ship is it's sort of like a little shopping that we get to do with what are called stakes.
I love a shopping episode.
Shopping episode right out of the
Shopping
gate.
episode.
Wahoo.
Wahoo! You guys get a number of stakes to spend on building your ship based on 6 plus 3 per player. So, you can spend these across design elements, fittings, and undercrew. Design elements, you must have one from each category in order to have a functioning ship, but fittings and undercrew are entirely optional. So, the way I'm thinking we can do this is because everybody has kind of 3 stakes to their name that are like, I guess, individual. People are welcome to just kind of throw out something they're excited about to get us started. And I would say let's start with design and move through the various things. So if you're excited about something, shout it out and we can discuss and pitch it. So the first thing we need to determine is how big our ship is, the size.
Can I ask a quick question, rules wise?
Absolutely not. Yeah, go ahead.
Okay, yeah, I gotta go.
Sorry, I'll see myself out.
Just I'll go. So we had talked about doing submersible. Is that the same thing, or is that like an additional part of the ship that we have to create first.
So what we're going to do is, and we had kind of talked about this in pre-production, is we're going to build a standard Wildsea ship to start, and then that ship is going to become a submersible at some point through play.
Understood. Thank you.
So feel free to spend fully on making this the best over waves ship, and then in the course of the first, 2 or 3 sessions, we'll find our way to turning it submersible.
Love that.
So I feel like we just got to start off with size.
Yeah, I imagine our options here are standard or large, because otherwise we're going to be all on a ship for one.
Yeah, something.
Could be fun.
Okay, but imagine a ship that's a little too small for 5 of us.
There's something fun about a
Make
little
it
ship.
smaller.
It's just like a nano ship.
Nano ship suited for a single sailor, maybe a passenger.
Can we just have like 6 nano ships or something?
Maybe you all shrink every time you get on it,
Hilarious. It's the borrowers.
I'm an emerald. I think it counts as cargo.
We just strap you to the side of the ship. We're like, all right, just let us know. Good over there.
That's funny. I'm imagining someone strapped inside a ship and then they bang. You know how like dads do on cars? They bang on the trunk to let you know you can go. Like, here you go. Bunk, bunk. All right, get on out of here.
I think maybe we do a standard ship. It says that's the size of most ships on the.
I like that.
I like this
And we don't get the
sentence.
stealth penalty.
The majority
Yeah.
of ships out on the Wildsea are of standard size, hence the name. It's good.
Amazing. Chef's kiss. Perfect.
What more do you need?
What more do you need? So are we all good with a standard size ship?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Great. So as we fill out as we buy things with stakes, they'll give us different boosts to our ship ratings. And ship ratings are how you determine the dice pool size when rolling a ratings check for the ship. So if you are doing something while using the ship, that is building a dice pool as well. And that dice pool is the size of the rating that you are using. Make sense?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
All right. So we have a size. We need a frame.
All right. So we got sturdy, we got molded, we got light, we got sleek, we got scything, and we got flexible. When you get to say the word scything, it's kind of just like
It's kind of like, what else?
Yeah,
what
that's
were
sick
those
as
other
hell.
words?
gives us a bonus to saws.
Yeah, I was going to say these all kind of start to define the identity of it, which is
Yeah.
Right.
scary.
Yeah, make sure to note the stat that is, or the rating that's getting boosted, because that'll be kind of what the ship is good at.
I'm kind of excited about scything. It's so aggressive.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Often wedge or blade shaped scything frames are constructed specifically to cut as efficiently as possible through the waves.
Okay. So this is a kind of ship that's made to move through the Wildsea, just going straight ahead, probably faster than some, because we can just cut down. Maybe a ship for like exploration if it's going towards like newer destinations where paths haven't quite been cut down yet.
That was my thought. Yeah, it's like we're gonna get through whatever it is. We might not be the fastest, but we're not gonna get stopped by anything.
Love that.
All for scything?
Aye,
Aye, aye. Oh, the first of many.
The
First
first of many
of many.
ayes.
Amazing. Okay, great. So we only get one frame, one size. You can do multiple hulls. So now we're getting into the choices that we can make multiple of, but we do need at least one hull.
Ooh, and this is the first time that it starts to, because everything up till now has just been one stake. Now some of them are one stake, some of them are two, so we can get like extra bonuses if we want to go crazy.
Remind me, how many stakes do we have total?
21 stakes total. So you guys have spent 2 so far, so we are at 19.
And we have like 6 it's like 6 as a crew, then 3
6
per
is
person.
a crew, 3 per person. If we want to split the decision making up that way, or it can be kind of group pitch for all of them. I'm okay with either.
I'd like to put forth Ghost Oak.
I was looking at that too.
I was going to say the same thing.
I love it.
That's
I'm
kind
in.
of sick.
Aye. It's kind of sick as hell.
Do ghosts come with this oak? Do we get ghosts now that we have ghost oak?
You might get a ghost with that oak.
Is this pre-haunted material that we're building this ship out of?
It feels like you're asking a waiter, like, what are the tasting notes of this ghost
That's
oak?
kind of what I was thinking. Like we're standing in the shipyard, being like, "So does this one come with ghosts?"
Oh my god. So with Ghost Oak, you guys are getting armor +1 and tilt +1.
Hell yeah.
Hell yeah.
We're actually making a pretty we're making like a versatile ship.
You're making a pretty strong, versatile ship so far.
Do we want a second hull?
That one was costly, so I'm hesitant.
Yeah, I think we've got one, and we'll have tons of stakes so we could come back.
Yeah,
Yeah,
that's
cool.
true. That's
True.
Okay, great. So next up we have our bite, which is the ship's motive force and how it cuts through the vast canopy of the rustling waves.
We could double up on the saws with the saw prow. The saw prow.
The classic like Wildsea vibe, I feel like.
Yeah.
Yeah, I like
Deals
that.
massive CQ serrated damage.
I'm also a huge fan of the voltaic runners that do massive CQ volt damage. Because they let you slightly
Ooh.
float because you're just electrocuting everything in your presence.
Oh, fucking A.
I didn't even see there's a whole second page for this
That's
shit.
cool
Oh,
as hell.
fuck.
I just saw gecko sails.
Gecko sales, wow.
And bites are the kind of thing that we could do more than one.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, I kind of like the tentaculary.
Tenticulari.
I do kind of like that.
Oh, it's so
It
eldritch.
kind of is.
It goes great with
I
Ghost
like it.
Oak.
Totally.
I have
Although
a pitch.
Saw Prow I did. You have a pitch?
Beast Reigns, and we get something to pull us through as well.
Oh,
as
wow.
something else.
Ooh, doesn't require an engine choice for the next section.
Oh, but they will require resources, Brian.
But they will require resources.
That's for you. I'm saying this for you.
We love
you
resource
That's another thing
management.
that needs food.
The monster that's pulling you.
I don't hate it. I do not hate it.
And I think it gives us the opportunity for like, let's say things get heated, there's an argument, someone can go out front like, I'm gonna go feed the fucking whatever it is, and then they go and they get a little scene by themselves feeding the animals and taking care of. It's just another good location set piece, I think, to give ourselves.
It's a good location set piece.
If we have some big animal leading us, what happens when we decide to go deep beneath the sea waves, the tree waves?
Yeah.
Does the aminal get hurt?
What can you do?
I don't know. Depends on the kind of
We're
animal.
certainly gonna
I guess
find
it
out.
depends.
We're certainly gonna find out.
I was thinking of just finagling a little bit. Just
Okay,
seeing,
we're already
just a little bit.
negotiating.
Yeah,
All
we're
right,
there.
Emily.
We're there now.
All right.
If we did something like Beast Reigns, could we maybe, say, if we had a saw prow, but it was broken? Like maybe we don't have to spend a
Oh.
stake, but we would have to it'd be a project to fix it.
Okay. I can get behind that.
Okay. So we could have a little twofer.
So you want to be beast pulled but have a broken saw prow?
Like we used to be saw prow, but then it broke. So we're like, all right, we're gonna do Beast Reigns while we figure this out, and no one's taking the time to figure it out because the beasts are working fine.
I like that. That's fun.
I'm into that. How's everybody feeling about that? And also, I would remind Noordin pitch voltaic runners, which I could see in combination with the beast run because it's sort of like maybe you're being pulled while floating.
It makes it a little easier for them as well.
I kind of like the idea of pulling from both, where you have the beast raids, but the voltaic runners are down. Maybe they cost a stake less, and that's because that sounds expensive to repair if you think about it.
The voltaic
True.
runners do sound expensive to repair.
So you guys can totally be beast rained with a broken saw prow for a potential future project. Do you want to have any other kind of bite?
Were we gonna do voltaic runners, perhaps?
I like it. I think that's fun. It's a little spency, but we've got the stakes.
I will say, if we're doing voltaic, so I think one of the advantages of Beast Reigns is that it doesn't require an engine. But if we do voltaic, we will require an engine.
Maybe voltaic is the one that's
Oh.
broken.
But then we'd
Yeah,
still need
I
an
like
engine.
If you
that.
had a saw prow,
So
you
we-
would have had an engine, I'd say.
Oh, that's true. So yeah, I'm talking around in circles anyway.
could we go for voltaic runners but broken plus beast reins? Does that seem?
I like that.
I'm excited about
I'm
that.
going to note that we have broken voltaic, but you're not going to get the benefits of it until you fix it.
Fair.
Mhm.
That also feels a bit more dangerous to try to repair, which is fun. That excites me. That sounds like fun.
Yeah.
Oh, you mean the crackling with barely contained lightning bits on the bottom of the ship?
Correct.
Yeah, that seems
Yeah.
fine. That seems fine.
Wow, it says barely contained lightning. Ooh. Ooh, it's like they know what they're doing.
All right, so now we're going to head to the engine. So you guys would have an engine because at one point you were using these voltaic runners and you can still use the engine for something. Staying warm?
This was my big pitch. This is the thing that I was going to pitch no matter what. I am so sorry for it. The Leviathan heart. Come on.
Oh, that's fun.
Oh, wow. Yeah.
How do you not take that except for
It's
the
pretty
rat wheel
good.
exchange? That's my only.
I really thought the rat wheel exchange. Yeah. But man, I love requires no fuel, but in a particularly ominous way.
I love the leaking. I love the fact that you could just walk into a place and suddenly there's weird black ichor just seeping down.
I love it.
It's like, what's this? Sorry, it's the heart again.
Sorry, guys. It's just the heart. Don't worry about it.
So the voltaic runners being down, is it that our voltaic runners are down, or did the heart stop?
Oh, man, that's pretty fun. I like that.
Oh my god.
And it's now like, well, we either find a way to get it beating again, or we need a new heart.
I was gonna say, I love the idea of like fixing the engine isn't like tinkering and tools. It's like having therapy with the engine.
It's a broken heart.
Oh,
Where it's
we
like,
love
hey, baby, what you upset about? What
What's
happened?
going on?
Maybe who hurt you?
Who hurt you?
I have to appreciate that you guys keep taking really cool things and then going, but what if they were broken?
What if we didn't get any mechanical advantage? What about that?
What if
Elliot?
we build a ship that doesn't function?
What if we build a
Elliot?
ship that fucking sucks, actually?
Look, we love a project, It's like,
Oh, no. I mean, you've
I
already
can fix
created
him.
several hooks, so I'm not mad at it.
We want to create a ship that'll be cool in like 3
the
episodes.
last episode.
Yeah, in the last episode.
Yeah, exactly.
About 7 episodes.
Yeah, we want to earn it. We want to earn the ship.
Okay, so Leviathan Heart engine, but it's hurting.
Yeah.
But it's broken.
But it's
so will you
broken.
let us pay
You
just
can
one
decide what
stake
that
for
means.
it?
What I'm gonna do is I'm gonna say that the heart being broken means we're starting with damage to tilt and speed, which is what that heart gives you. That sound fair?
Mm,
Okay.
Sure.
yeah.
I love it.
Also, like, does one purchase this?
We could talk about where you guys got this.
What's funnier to not address it at all?
What's that leaky black ichor? Oh, it's just the heart. The
It's the
what?
Leviathan
Don't worry
heart.
about it.
Don't worry
Just
about
the
it.
heart.
Do not worry about it.
It's a really long story.
Let's put a pin in how you got the heart, and maybe we'll talk about it when we get into the crew and stuff.
Okay.
Love it.
Mhm.
Okay, so we've got an engine. Oh, so now we're in fittings and undercrew. We are now in optional territory. So we have spent, real quick, we spent 9 of our 21 stakes.
But some
Yeah.
things are broken.
I'm going to say you're still spending them because they're there.
Fair.
It's fair.
You can't knock the
So
hustle.
fair.
So you've got 12 to spend on additional bites, but we can also get into the fittings, which we've got the motifs, which are like fun themey things for your ship.
And then rooms and weapons.
Rooms and weapons, additions, bounteous
Undercrew.
additions, armaments, undercrew. There's a lot of fun stuff in this optional section. Does anybody have something they want to throw out from the optionals? I think a big question is, do we want an undercrew? That's kind of a big optional question.
Oh my God, the packs. We could have a pack of squirrels.
A pack of squirrels.
Guys, I'm not kidding. There are squirrel flingers.
Tiny but ferocious, a pack of squirrels armed with miniature slings. They fight at range to defend the ship, gaining focus every now and then to deal long-range, blunt, keen, or spike damage.
Oh my god, I had no idea. Oh, is that a squirrel?
Is it better
that a
to
squirrel?
not include them in our undercrew so that we keep the mystery of when the squirrel's going to show up alive?
That is
Well,
entirely up to you.
I think we want to wait on squirrels. I think we want to earn the squirrels.
We want to earn this.
Earn the
We
squirrel.
wanna
Yeah,
earn
you have
the
to earn the
squirrels.
squirrel. You know that old trope when a show earns the squirrel.
Yeah. It's kill your darling, save the cat, earn the squirrel.
Yeah, I like that.
I'm just looking at the free things. An anchor system, that's free.
Yeah, you do get an anchor system for free. If you want.
We don't have to.
Oh, when you say it with that kind of tone, take it away. This is the kind of, we're like a shark. We have to keep moving.
I like the idea that your beast is also your anchor. Like whatever it is, whenever it gets sleepy, it just
Yeah,
anchors you.
it sits down.
We had anchors, but they're broken now, so we just use the beast for it.
To weigh it down.
I like so many of these. It's so hard to.
Well, also a lot of the motifs are so identity based that I'm like, when I think of throwing out one, I'm like sad to lose some of the other ones.
Mm-hmm. It's also how I feel about the undercrew because I want to see what we choose as posts before picking a post for the undercrew.
Right.
And some of these common rooms are like that too, because if we got like a cook, a char, we probably want, a galley.
Mhm.
But if we don't have a char, maybe we don't need a galley.
Or if you have a galley,
True.
you need a char.
True.
True.
Mm.
I was gonna say I like the packs because I feel like it adds like crew and flavor without necessarily stepping on the toes of anything that we want to do.
Cool.
What pack would you want?
I'm so glad you asked, Brian. Whirling bats.
Whirling back.
They lend an
Ooh,
appropriately
gothic.
gothic look to your ship from a distance, but are unexpectedly friendly. You just want friends. You just want spooky
Maybe.
friends.
Damn.
They came with the ghost oak.
Do you want? Are we? Y'all got to start spending these stakes. So we got to make some decisions.
Yeah.
I'm yes on bats.
Yes on bats.
I like bats. I was going to propose for Bounteous Editions doing a lightning rod, only because I feel like it might make sense with our engine.
That's cool.
That's
That's
cool.
cool.
Love that.
No notes.
And in a real
Yeah.
pinch, we could string a sail from it.
Lightning rod.
Okay. How many stakes is that? Can you call
One
out
stake.
the amount when you guys spend them?
Lightning rod is 1 stake. The
Okay.
whirling bats is also 1 stake.
Amazing.
Ooh, how do you guys feel about a tethered kite sail? A glider tethered to the deck with a long rope, allowing aerial exploration on windy days.
Ooh.
I like
Love
it.
that.
How many stakes?
1 stake.
1 stake for kite sail.
Tethered kite sail.
Tethered kite sail. Amazing.
I would like to spend 1 stake on an underthrush platform. A sturdy door leading to an open platform at the base of the ship, usually at the rear below the riding line, and only because I think it'd be really cool to like have secret scenes one-on-one in the underthrush platform and for no other reason.
Mhm.
It's 1
Ooh.
stake.
Nice.
That's really good.
I like that.
I want to pitch Storm Rail, which is a weapon. 2 huge
Ooh.
brass rods wrapped with poorly shielded cables attached to a voltaic generator, which does also fit our theme.
I love it.
Yeah, it seems cool.
I know it's down, but I think that it's
But we also have a lightning rod, so I mean.
Well, yeah. That one's 2 stakes if you guys are down.
What is it?
Storm Rail.
I appreciate the fact that we're clearly just asking for an electrical
Yes.
staff.
Truly.
Yeah.
What?
Yeah.
I don't see that. I don't see that happening. This is
the
all well
storm rail
thought out.
the storm rail is 2, which puts you guys at 6 stakes left.
Oh, no.
Squirrels. 3 packs of squirrels.
Could we just spend all 6 on squirrels to really max out our squirrel stat? I'm kidding. Do we want...
I need to
I
know
mean,
if squirrels is a bit or not.
It's impossible
I
to
swear.
tell.
It's a bit, but we do expect to see it.
Oh, you will see a squirrel.
Yeah.
You will see a squirrel.
Brian, if you're interested in resources stuff, the Bounteous Editions, I feel like maybe of interest, like the water purifier, the trawler nets, something like that.
Ooh.
The night farm.
I also do think a motif is having a motif of sorts is interesting.
Of the motifs, I'm kind of interested in pathfinding. I feel like we're kind of in the exploration mode.
Because you like trinkets and gewgaws?
I do like trinkets and gewgaws. Yeah.
Gewgaws.
That's
never heard of gewgaws.
The official list for the pathfinding is trinkets and gewgaws.
I'm more of a who's it's and what's it's galore kind of guy.
Yeah, you can have those too.
You know, knickknacks. I got 20. Oh, it's
I also like
thingamabobs.
research for a
the
motif.
wrong.
Yeah,
I
you
love
guys had
research
talked
and
about
too.
truth seekers as potential motivation in our pre-production
True.
meeting.
We could afford 2 motifs.
You can only have one.
Well,
I mean, with
Yeah.
that attitude.
It's in the text. Don't talk to me. Talk to Felix.
God damn. Felix. What if I want to be two things?
You can be 2 things. If you guys want to spend the stakes, I'm fine with it.
Well, what are the 2 that we were interested in?
pathfinding and research.
I feel like it's like 2 sides of the same corn.
Corn?
Two sides of the same corn?
2 sides of the same corn?
You know that phrase.
Two sides of what? The husk and the kernel?
Corn is a cylinder. It has one side, right?
My favorite part of this is that I looked up and I saw Abby knew what happened and was hoping beyond hope that it would pass by unnoticed. But also there was a death in her eyes that she's like, I know this won't go past.
Do you know what it was? Was I recognized I effed up and then for a brief moment just forgot the word coin altogether and was like, but what's the right word?
I thought that was just a thing that you said, and I really liked it. I was like, I gotta start saying that.
Yeah, honestly.
Start saying that.
Down. So 6 stakes to spend. Are we committing to a motif?
Yeah.
I think research
Pathfinding
is a little
good because it's
closer.
really broad.
Oh, okay. Then yeah, let's do that one. then.
I was gonna say okay, we're gonna have to have a show of
Hilarious.
hands. Is it research or pathfinding? Because I like research.
All right, all for research?
What are we researching?
Yeah, there's the question, Kendo.
What are we researching? Because we could be researching anything.
You could research paths.
You could research paths. You could
Don't
research
do
the
that.
history.
Don't do that,
of
Tess
paths.
Elliot.
You could research. We could be there's
if
so
we
many
were
things to be
researching-
researching.
How to cure a Leviathan broken heart.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I was going to say, like the
psychologists,
Leviathan
the
heart, I
therapists.
think about why you have a Leviathan heart, and is it because you are researchers, or is the Leviathan heart giving you some kind of eldritch ethereal guidance of sorts?
Here's the reason why I love research so much. It gives us pictures. I know that's ridiculous, but it does. And I just like the idea of us taking pictures of things.
Okay, I'm down with pictures.
Oh, it literally does.
Okay.
I love
What
that.
We love a snapograph.
I,
All right.
Yeah. I
What
vote
if-
research.
I'm down
Okay,
with research.
hit. Kendo's got an alternate pitch.
No, not an alternate pitch. Still research. What if the thing we're going on the broken heart thing, this Leviathan heart we have, what if this ship is our research? This is our research project, and it's failing because the heart it doesn't work the way it's supposed to be.
Ooh.
I like that.
Ooh.
I dig
I like
it.
I
that.
love that.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I very much like that.
Yeah, I'm down with that.
Can I add to this pitch that we add a cargo bay extension for 1 stake, which gives us a larger space with cargo webbing, wall racks, and reinforced sections for more dangerous items, which I feel like fits in research, but also is a great place to store our pictures.
Yeah,
Mm.
yeah.
How many pictures are you guys taking?
So many.
I
So
love
many.
the idea that you guys all like taking pictures. So cargo bay, are we spending that stake?
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm down with that.
I'm down.
So 3
So what does it
stakes
be-
left.
3.
Can I pitch tap room? Because I think that's another good
Nice.
location. That's just another
Yeah.
look.
Do you
know where
good
my brain
location
went?
for scene.
I was like, oh, a room for tap dancing? That's an interesting thing for them to include.
Hey, it could be. You know, sometimes you get a few drinks in here and you're like, you know what? All I got to do is dance.
I gotta dance.
I got to dance right now.
Multi-use.
Multi-use tap room.
Okay, now you have 4 stakes left.
Pitch. I 100% agree with Gally. My pitch is observation platform, considering that we like to take pictures,
Yes.
Go for it.
which is 1 stake.
My pitch was going to be, I want to get like a undercrew, but I'm kind of more in the realm of like, let's get an officer rather than like a gang. Like I kind of want to have like one little guy who's like killing it.
Like a guy.
Like a fucking guy.
Like a fucking guy.
Like a fucking little guy.
Like a
fucking little guy.
Oh, then I think we should get the experienced officer because we don't know how big their track is.
So there's gonna be one. There's gonna be one guy.
Likely on the verge of leaving. Why do we keep choosing things that are just that either don't work or are going to stop working soon? I love it, but it's just we keep running into this.
We're building the most.
We are a ticking
broken
clock.
crew.
You guys are really doing me so many favors.
I like the experienced officer who's just over it. Like it's a guy who's like in his 60s on the verge of retirement. Is like, listen, it's been my last trip for like 3 trips. It's gotta be this one.
It's gotta be this one.
Next port, I'm gone.
You can't keep bringing me out here where the heart's gonna fail. Like we get stuck out here for weeks and we gotta crawl our way back.
She just really wants to retire, but doesn't know when's a good time to tell the rest of this. You know,
Keeps trying to like drop hints, and we're all just oblivious.
No, we're not oblivious.
After
We're
this
pretending
one,
to be
it's gonna
oblivious.
All right. What
Great.
is so? Our experienced officer gets an aspect. We don't necessarily need to decide what that is right now. But like, what are they good at? Maybe vaguely, and then do you have name and pronouns for them in mind, or is that something you want me to do?
I'd leave that to you. My first thought with aspect was like wayfinding or like navigation.
Navigation.
Yeah.
I can't believe I came up with the word
Agreed.
wayfinding before navigation. But
It's very on brand for you.
I will say I want to kind of hold the aspect just in case one of us decides to play a navigator.
Copy
sure.
that.
Yeah.
Fair.
Okay, I'll pick that later and let you guys know.
Cool.
And how much do we have left?
We have 1 stake left.
Okay, here's a thought. Why not firefly lanterns? Because we have no light right now.
Yeah.
Yeah. Love it.
These, that's thinking with your head because especially if we go diving, light becomes real important.
I love that.
Super
yeah, I'm
down.
with that.
Dope.
All right.
Dope and cool and chill. Firefly lanterns. Great. So that is our ship. We have a standard size ship with scything frame, a ghosto hull pulled by a beast that we have not yet defined, which you guys are welcome to.
We'll get there.
Powered by a Leviathan heart that is currently broken, with voltaic runners on the bottom that are currently broken, an anchor system, whirling bats, a lightning rod, a tethered kite sail, an underthrush platform, a research motif, a cargo bay extension, a tap room, an observation platform, and firefly lanterns. Also an experienced officer that hangs out, and a storm rail for blasting.
It's a beautiful
The
ship.
bats were so long ago. I totally forgot.
You forgot about the spooky bats that are just hovering around the ship?
They give us no advantage.
They give you no advantage other than being kind of spooky.
Kind of from a distance, but they're friendly up close.
They look friendly. Now, can the beast that drags our ship just be a really big bat?
One big bat.
Mama.
Maybe 2 big bats, but I feel like it'd be hard for them to fly next to
Maybe
each
2.
other.
Maybe 2.
Maybe 2.
Hey, Elliot, up to you. Could be 1, could be
Maybe 2
2.
or
Up to
3.
you.
The more there are, I think the smaller they have to be, but they still have to be big enough,
I mean,
for
I kind of
forward
like the idea
propulsion.
of like a half bat, half dragon sort of thing with no explanation.
Okay.
Ooh, okay. Like so
Okay.
this is like a smaller Leviathan. Like this is some weird creature.
No one tell it that we have a Leviathan's heart.
Yeah.
It's a secret we have to keep from
I
the
almost
beast.
there's a world where it is pulling you because it's attached to that heart in some way. Like it's
There
like
is
like it has a relationship with it.
I didn't want to say it, but the first thing that did come to mind is if it was the kid, the child Leviathan of the Leviathan the heart that we have, but that feels cruel in a way.
That feels a bit cruel.
That feels a bit cruel. I agree.
Well, it could be. It doesn't have to be cruel. It could be kind. It could be like
could be,
the
yeah.
child is escorting its parents' heart to a distant shore, or it could be attempting to bring it along with them so that it can be revived.
So we have to keep going. Hey, no, not that direction. This way. That feels cruel.
Yeah,
Maybe-
that's true.
maybe-
If
maybe we
you're
don't have
making it
control.
go certain places.
Yeah, you're assuming we know where we're going. Maybe it's just dragging us. We're along for the ride.
So our beast reigns, let's just clarify this. Our beast reigns are a supernatural pallbearer. That's what we're saying.
Wow.
Yeah.
I mean, when you boil it down like that.
When you boil it down, you're a
Fucking
hearse.
hearse, dude.
Okay. Let's. We don't need to commit to this canon.
No, we don't.
If you guys want to be pulled by a hearse and it be the Leviathan funeral season, we can have that.
I don't hate it.
I don't hate it at all.
Hey,
I just
Listen, we want to
I'm
know.
in.
I just want to make sure we're okay with being driven by the emotions of a orphaned child Leviathan. That's what I want to make sure.
I'm gonna veto that, actually.
All right, Abby's vetoing.
When you phrase it that succinctly, I think I'm gonna veto it. I'm sorry, guys.
Can we go back to big bats?
We can go back to big bats. We can go back to big anything, like big something's pulling.
I do like the big bat dragon aesthetic combo.
The aesthetic
Maybe
is
not
chill.
a Leviathan.
Yeah.
That is the child of the one whose heart we're using for the ship.
No relation between the
Fair.
heart and the beast.
No,
Mhm.
yeah.
every time a different Leviathan beast comes up to our Leviathan beast, they're like, no relation.
No relation.
No relation.
No relation. Different heart. Different guy.
Sorry.
Good gnome.
Okay, so do we want like a vague bat dragon creature pulling us?
I think so.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Cool.
This is kind of goth as hell.
Yeah, you guys are kind of goth. Does the bat dragon have a name?
Clarabelle.
Great. First thought, best thought.
It's done.
Okay. There's a lot of nicknames that could come from that too. So
We got
I like that.
ancient squirrel just by first thought. I feel like we need to be careful what we say, or it's just going to become canon.
It's okay. It was technically second thought because first thought was orphan Leviathan child pulling us to a funeral.
Midnight Muscadines is a cozy, dark tabletop role-playing game where light and shadow intertwine in a fractured world. Players take on the roles of marmoteers, brave adventurers who journey into the untamed wilderness to collect the elusive Midnight Muscadines, craft magical jams, and protect the fragile light of Nim. Through collaborative storytelling and resourceful gameplay, players weave tales of courage, community, and the pursuit of balance. Will you preserve the light, uncover the truths hidden in the shadows, or reshape the balance of the world forever? Midnight Muscadines is perfect for fans of Studio Ghibli and Sea of Stars who seek to capture the magic of exploration and the heartfelt adventure in a world where small heroes make a big impact. Play Midnight Muscadines as a traditional GM'd game, GM-less, or even solo. Midnight Muscadines is crowdfunding now on BackerKit. Join the campaign at pandiongames.com/muscadines.
I'm Quinns of tabletop role-playing game review show Quinn's Quest, and this is Play to Find Out. Play to Find Out is an actual play podcast that brings notorious old games from the 80s and 90s back to the table. Each season of Play to Find Out, I'm joined by Emily Johnson and Rob Morgan.
Good? Nervous?
Yeah.
You both looked at each other really concerned, like you think what's about to happen is going to be unpleasant. And frankly, I think that's rude.
And together, we explore the TTRPGs of ages gone by. Our goal? To separate the TTRPGs that deserve to be remembered from those that maybe don't. I don't know, Emily. It was the 80s. A lot of people were on cocaine. We blow the dust from decrepit systems to learn how they work. Your 100 on the encounter table bursts out. Right, you've encountered a bug. Get ready. Don't laugh.
Does one get ready for a fog?
Don't laugh. Encounter their unique quirks.
I do finger guns to cover up how I wince.
A weird thing happens as you do finger guns.
Oh no.
And I'm hoping that the Quinn's Quest community will join us in exploring these games too. If you this up,
cannot describe to you how much your adventure ends here.
Yeah, that's fair.
Because the best way to learn is to play to find out. Play to Find Out is available now on the Quinn's Quest Patreon, but the first episode of each series streams for free on the Quinn's Quest YouTube channel and wherever you get your podcasts.
Anyway, you failed the Earth Tech roll, and you made jokes while I was doing my exposition, so you don't get to hear any more.
Oh, no. Come on.
I was shook.
Do you think pirate captains just say I?
Hey, Kendo, get out.
All right, thanks everybody. This has been a great season. Thank you for
We're
having
still
me.
using your name, though.
That's a wrap on Kendo. All right. Good season,
All right,
guys.
thanks everybody.
Alrighty. So we have our ship pulled by Clarabelle the Bat Dragon, powered by the Broken Leviathan Heart. Now,
My favorite system. I'm sorry. I will stop.
okay, I like that one. I liked that one.
You didn't like the other one? No, that's fine. No, I understand.
So
You didn't like all of my bits, Elliot? What the hell?
I like all the bits. If we're doing bits, we're having a good time. So we have our ship, and you guys are probably thinking, what about that hidden track that I made at the top of the session? Well, with the
Yeah,
creation of our
Elliot.
ship, I will check one spot on that hidden track.
Excellent.
Whoa.
Whoa.
I'm so proud of us.
Only 5 more hours to go.
Only 5 more hours to go. I only fill it out when an hour of real world time passes. You
Yes.
figured it out.
Perfect.
All right. So the next thing we're going to do, gang, is we are going to fill out our character sheets and create our characters. Actually, real quick before we do that, does anybody have any questions about ship stuff before we move on from ship stuff?
No, I don't think so.
No, I think we'll figure it out a little bit.
Yeah, there will be stuff we'll figure out in session. In general, when we're rolling with the ship, you'll now be using as many dice as there are boxes on the ratings chart, aside from the ones that are checked and damaged because of the things that are broken.
Cool.
Yo, we
Great.
gotta fix our ship.
Nice.
The ship could be great. Right now, it's kind of trash.
It's kind of trash.
Yeah.
It's all good. It's all good.
We created a chore.
You created a project, and you're gonna have a great time.
Maybe that's what I'll do. It's less resource management. It's more project management.
So, with our ship in mind, who would like to pitch their character first? Or I will pick if you don't have a clear choice.
You choose.
Me choose. I'm gonna pick one of our My First Dungeon first timers. Noordin.
Damn it!
You were physically trying to hide. It was great.
You hit one for the first introduction and the first character introduction.
People just
My
choose
guy.
violence against me today, and I don't know why. Okay. I cannot stop laughing. Shit. So I'm thinking that the one thing this place will need, we have a gigantic heart in the ship. And looking at the number of characters that I've been thinking about for a long time, the idea immediately, there's a post called Surgeon. And I feel like in a ship with a functional heart, well, not functional, a ship with you get what I'm saying. A surgeon is always handy. So I am thinking about playing a surgeon, but here's the twist. I think I'm going to play human. I want to play somebody a bit bog standard in that arena.
So an ardent.
Because that is the closest to regular human that you get. But when it comes down to it, there's more than just bloodline, ardent, and post to think about. There's also origin. And origin can be so many things. And I'm looking at one that says amberclad on it. That I was just frozen in time from before the waves of trees happened. And I've been recently opened up. And boom, here I am, completely confused about life. And so that's my pitch. I'm thinking about, a surgeon from the before times, probably some kind of like war bonesaw who has experience on actual water waves.
Ooh.
Okay.
Interesting.
Drowned in
That's
water
cool.
of amber. Yeah, and then was eventually rescued by this lovely group of weirdos with their strange ghost ship.
The bats. It was
Very
the bats
good.
that did it.
I got to think that if you got resurrected from like 300 years ago, by the time you made it to the big heart, you were like, okay, that's cool. Like you're seeing cactus people, you're seeing fungus people, you're seeing verdant waves. By the time you made it to the heart, you're like, yeah, that might as well be
You're
there
like, it's
too.
just a heart. I've dealt with hearts.
Yeah.
It depends upon who actually cracked me out of amber, because if it was all of you, that might have been the first thing I saw. We don't have a medical bay on the ship. What's the safest place to crack open?
Mm.
I'm imagining like being taken out of this amber coffin and staring up at a gigantic black pulsating heart, thinking that I have clearly gone to hell. And the truth is, no, it's much worse.
It's much worse. It's way worse. You're actually still alive. So sorry. All right. So we have our Sergeant, Ardent, Amberclad. What are your edges?
So my edges, I get to choose between iron, teeth, and tides. And double checking what those mean, because I have forgotten.
So the edges these are kind of your approaches to life. So I'll go through all of them so folks have like a preview. So they are grace, which is acting with elegance, precision, or agility. They are iron, force, determination, and willpower. You could go with instinct, sense, intuition, reaction. Sharps, logic, wit, and planning. Teeth is savagery, passion, and destruction. Tides is exploration, learning, and lore. And veils is shadows, ciphers, and secrecy. And so this is kind of the first thing that you approach any problem with. It's the beginning of building your dice pool, is always starting with your edge.
And I think to survive what I've survived already, iron is probably the most fitting.
100%.
Right? You're looking at someone who's basically died and then was resurrected and then resurrected in this world and is still trying to push it, and also a surgeon on top of it. So iron is really fitting. And then as an ardent, I got to pick skills and languages. I've got 5 skills to pick from. 5 skills I picked total out of harvest, hunt, sense, sway, tend, wave, walk, and vault. I think tend is obviously going to be one of them. And sense is going to be another.
And just, I think you're picking 5 between skills and language.
And language. Skills and language, yeah.
Yes. But I also get more from my origin and from my...
You get 15 total. You make these equivalent choices for each piece of your character. So you'll make these same choices for your post and your same choices for your origin.
I think I'm going to focus on skills for now, because I would also like sway. And then I have 2 more to pick from. I'm going to put 2 in Chthonic, which is the old human language.
2 skills in Chthonic?
If I could. Is that possible?
Oh, you can. You can put up to 3 in any individual thing, just not exceeding 3.
All right. Here's a question. I'm relatively new to this world. Now, as standard, I get 3 in the average, the trade tongue, which is low sour. Would you let me dock 1 from myself and put it somewhere else?
I would love that.
I don't think I'm fluent in low sour. I think I'll give myself knowledge in low sour, which is all I picked up, and put 1 in old hand, which is a gesture-based language.
Oh, dope.
Nice.
So that's all the skills and languages I can pick for Ardent. But now I get to pick resources. How does this work, if I might ask?
So this would be stuff that you start with kind of in your inventory. So resources are things that you can use for projects. Charts are things you can use for discoveries while exploring. And then whispers are those things we talked about, which are like the reality altering words.
I like the idea of having, because I get to choose 2. The whisper granted to me a grove of twisted trees, which is badass as hell, and a copper-colored chart, both of which seem very out of date for me. Now I get to pick a drive, and I would like to solve problems in ardent settlements, because I want to help. I'm alive again. I want to help. And lastly, I choose a mire before I get to my aspects. And the aspects are where like the powers happen and extra tracks.
Yeah.
Both mires seem really cool. But I was wondering if I could save them for when after I pick from all three to see if I can get a good sword.
Yeah. Yeah, as long as you have 3 total in the end, you can save that choice for sure.
Great. So I have 2 aspects to pick from. I'd like to pick a pre-verdant heirloom, which I think is a broken revolver.
Dope.
It also cannot function, but it is there and it exists. Because apparently broken is a common theme today. And
we love it.
Are we sure the name of our ship isn't just the Busted?
Busted.
I feel like for whatever reason, we're broken people with broken things in a broken ship on a broken world. And that's just the theme. If anything, this is just the broken. Yeah. And I would like, because I did give myself a big wish, I'd like Ghost Sight, please.
Ghost Sight's perfect for our Ghost Oak ship. You can clearly see and easily communicate with spirits and the spectral realm, and can identify spirit-anchored objects by sight.
Nice.
Cool.
Great. So those are your choices for the Ardent, and you're waiting to choose your Mire. And Mire, for those who don't know, listening at home, and for our folks here, are things that when you experience some kind of horror or something big and odd to behold on the waves, you mark a Mire, and then that is something that guides your roleplay. It's sort of your character succumbing to an uncontrollable impulse, and when you act against it, you mark cut against your roll when the Mire's checked, which is cut is when I have you remove the highest die from your pool, or multiple, depending on how big the cut is, which you all have Felix to thank for telling me that the thing I should do is use cut as much as possible, because he says that it's the thing people don't do enough in running, so...
Oh, no.
Thank you, Felix.
Watch out.
Nasty.
We're getting nasty. All right, Noordin, so next up we have...
the Amberclad.
Right. The Amberclad.
So here's what I want for the Amberclad. I want sharps, because I'm good at logic, wit, and planning. I feel like that's perfect. For skills and languages, I like study. I'd like to put another intend. That's taking me up to 2.
Right.
I'm going to toss another point in Old Hand and 1 point in Hyven. And Hyven is the primary, it's a very written language found in old pre-verdant ruins. And that believes I have 1 left.
Cool.
1 left. Delve, Outwit, Break, Scavenge. Delve is a study dust, remnants of forgotten ways. Delve seems right to me.
Dope.
Now, for resources, strong coffee automatically comes to mind.
Yeah.
You had it on you. A thermos.
Yeah.
You wish it was even stronger.
Still hot.
And the longest sleep is the coolest whisper I've ever seen.
Fuck yeah.
Yeah.
For my drive, I'm going to easily pick Discover Remnants of Your Old Life.
Mm-hmm.
And the Mire I'm going to pick from this one, because I do know which one I want here, is Sleep Pulls at My Mind, an old and dangerous friend.
Yeah. And your 2 Amberclad aspects.
Oh, you betcha. I'm thinking an endless golden age. I didn't age through my imprisonment, and I don't seem to be aging now that I'm free either. It's a blessing, but a curious one. And the second thing that I'm going to pick is a pre-V pet.
Ooh.
We get more friends.
A squirrel?
See, here's the thing. I was going to think a literal dog because I love dogs. But no, I'm down for it to be an ancient squirrel. Considering I want to give that wish to Abby. I think it was frozen.
That
Don't feel
squirrel's gonna
pressured
show
to.
up,
We'll
whether
get
you
a
pick it
squirrel
or
if you don't want a pet squirrel, but I'm also very down to have a pet squirrel.
No, this is a pet squirrel. This is an ancient pet squirrel that will not leave my side.
Excellent.
It also got frozen in the Amberclad with you.
Yeah.
Aww.
That's cute as fuck.
Does it hand you your little scalpel and stuff?
I think on occasion
when you're doing the surgery.
But it also tries to steal things. The thing about being Amberclad is that parts of you are liable to break, and I think I got lucky, and most of me is perfectly fine, but this squirrel is definitely missing a foot.
Oh, buddy.
Yeah. It's been through a lot.
Very cute.
Because it's very hard to get a squirrel out of amber if you think about it.
You got to do it very carefully. Okay, and then last but not least, your surgeon post.
Yes, my surgeon post. The edges I get to pick from here are iron, sharps, and tide. I already have iron and sharps, so we're picking tides.
Amazing.
Yeah, I did do some planning. I will say that. My skills and languages that I choose to pick from, I'm going to put one in rattle. I'm going to put another in study and another in tend for a total of 3 in tend, which is just how I like it. I'm going to put another point in a language, and that language is going to be Chthonic because I think I'd be fluent in the ancient human language. That just seems right to me.
Yeah.
And I get one more point. And I think I'm going to toss that point into concoct, hack, harvest, or trend. I like hack.
Great.
Because, I'd be hacking at things. Resources. I get to choose 2 from this list as well. A scar that never fades is the whisper I'm going to take from here, because I want a whisper from each.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm going to also have some rubbing alcohol on me. I feel like that's just right.
Great.
Last, we got, I'm so sorry. I get really excited because this is super cool stuff. Everything here is about, everything here is just another, it's another flavorful thing that says a lot about who your character is, but also just how the world exists, which is really fun.
Oh, 100%.
It pulls from both ways, which is really, drive. Divine the cure for a previously incurable ailment is the drive I kind of want to take, but I want to do it with a twist, if that's all right with you.
I love a twist.
I want to figure out a better way to release the Amberclad than the way I was hacked open.
Because it was kind of traumatic.
Yep. That's the vibe for me. And
can I add on to that?
Oh, absolutely. Please.
I think the way you were pulled from it means that your memory of pre-V times got really messed up with the shock of coming alive, and you think there's a way to get people out where their memories are fully intact.
Yes. Absolutely. I only have bits and pieces still left.
That's extremely cool.
And the pieces that I do have, sometimes I remember things wrong. I look out into the oceans outside of the warship that I was on, and I still see trees instead of water, where I know I should see water.
Mm-hmm.
It's all bleeding together. It's really bad.
Very good.
For the mire for this, there's 2 I can pick from. Your hands shake under pressure, and alcohol calls to you in your darker moments. And this is one that I kind of want to leave out to the group, because I'm not sure. I cannot choose between these 2. Or if you have a better idea for a mire,
what were the 2 again?
Your hands shake under pressure, or alcohol calls to you in your darker moments, or we could just write a new one. And I'm curious as to what if...
I like both of those a lot.
Yeah.
I like handshake under pressure a lot.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, especially for a surgeon. I feel like that's
totally
ripe for trouble.
Yeah.
Yeah, I like it. Okay, let's do handshake under pressure.
Hell yeah.
Then I pick 2 aspects. And these aspects are really cool. The first aspect I want to pick here is ceaseless tending. I can use a task to work on healing up to 3 traits, injuries, or companions at a time. And the second one I want to pick. Now, originally I was going to pick Bonesaw from the regular set, but in the other book we have access to, there's this one called The Jar of Old Fears. It deals LR salt damage. In addition, I'm going to use a task to heal a mark of mire from any member of the crew and gain a whisper based upon that mire's nature.
100%.
Ooh.
Yes.
So we're going to be taking...
Based on name alone, yes.
Yeah, it's going to be The Jar of Old Fears is what we're going to go for.
Yeah, it's the Jar of Old Fears.
Yeah.
Oh, that's just my jar of old fears. Don't worry about it.
No, what is it actually?
It's the jar for me.
Where did I get it from? Who knows?
Who knows? We might find out.
We don't talk about it.
Great. So I think that's all the choices for your character. Do you have a name and pronouns for this amber-clad ardent surgeon?
Yes. Yes, I do. Ezra Carcos, he, they.
And how do you spell Carcass?
Carcoss. And I did forget an important part of that. So sorry. Dr. Ezra Carcos.
Oh, yeah, sorry.
Oh, that's on me. I should have said that earlier.
Doctor.
I should have assumed, you know.
Dr. Carcass?
Dr. Carcass.
Jay, don't reveal everything that I've planned.
Sorry, I got excited.
Yeah. I feel like they were lost beneath the waves when they were 35, and they were party to... This is where we don't know much about the previous civilization, right? So it can be anything we want to be. I'm thinking, you know, this is like a Cold War-esque world, except the bombs did go off at some point. And so I was once a surgeon in a submersible, is what I'm, like an actual...
Hell yeah.
Yeah. Oh. And something happened after that where the submersible crashed. I saw the water, you know, oncoming, and it was made of liquid honey. And that's it. Then I wake up underneath a big old black heart, and I'm looking at the rest of y'all.
That's
So
incredible.
spooky.
It's very spooky. Hell yeah. Dr. Ezra Carcass. Carcass?
Carcos.
Or Carcass. Carcass.
Excuse me, it's
Dr.
Carcass.
Ezra Carcass.
If you're nasty.
If you're nasty, it's Carcass.
You're nasty.
Noordin, what was your first drive? I know we've got Divine the Cure for a previously incurable ailment.
Solve problems in ardent settlements was the first drive.
Okay, great.
And also,
then
still need to pick a mire for that. And the mire is the voices of my past whisper their disappointment.
fuck off. Damn. All right.
Yeah. Yeah.
Hell yeah. So we have our first character. I think I'm going to check another spot on that hidden track.
I think I know how this track gets checked.
What? That's crazy. Brian, you're crazy.
I'm catching on.
Brian, you're kind of crazy. All right. Who would like to go next?
I got something.
All right, Jay, I'd like to hear a little something.
I have 3 somethings, but I want to talk through it a little bit because I have one character that I thought of when we were doing pre-pro for this, and she has stuck with me and I've thought about it so much, and I love this character, and I don't think anything about this character matches anything that we've done for the ship. And so I don't think it's the right choice, but I love her so much. Furthermore, it doesn't have any of the options from the supplement, which I was really excited about. So there's every reason to not pick this character, but hear me out. I love her so much. And then my other option is fine. So what do you think?
Man.
Well, just tell us about the weird one.
Wild.
It's so unclear what you want to do. I don't know how I could even advise.
The thing is, for this one that I love, is that I saw in the Ridgeback origin a little something about cannibalism. And I really like the idea of playing someone who has escaped this cannibalistic cult and is so in denial about how horrible it was, and is kind of a monster in themselves, but is also just a little sweetie. So that's kind of where I'm approaching that from.
Jay, it sounds like to me this is your character. I can't begin to imagine you don't want to play them.
I really want to play them.
I
but
think you should do it.
We will make whatever you want to play work. Absolutely.
Okay. Well, my other character is based around a Leviathan and is one of the origin is the anchored, so it has the ghostly elements. It fits so well.
It's too on the nose.
I think it might fit too well.
So true. So true. Throw it out. Okay, I'm gonna go with my option number 1.
Yay!
Which is a really tough choice, and I thank you all for going with me on that journey. Okay, so Bloodline is Ectus, which is the cactus people, but I'd like to pitch a rebrand.
Love a rebrand.
For this character. I wanted to go a little bit Weeping Willow, specifically like a weeping cherry. So it's like the long pink flowers that are hanging down. And I think she's massive because she's a tree. But I love this idea of like a really sort of delicate looking person, again, from a cannibalism cult.
Cool.
Yeah.
I'm down for the rebrand.
For the rebrand? Okay, sick. I have all of my decisions made. Should I just rattle them through?
Why don't you rattle them through?
Okay. So for Ectus, which is my bloodline, the edge I'm going iron. I don't remember what iron means exactly.
Iron is force, determination, and willpower.
Yeah, perfect. And then for skills and languages, I'm going break, hack, sense, wave walk, and saprec, which is one of the languages. I think where I was coming from with the languages was that like there's so many different kinds of people that went through this this community cult, whatever you want to call it. So I think I just picked up a lot of different languages from that.
So you're gonna have a little bit and a bunch is the preview.
Exactly. For my resources, this is the only one I didn't pick a whisper. The salvage, I'm going with salvage, which is a porous stone and a bronze locket. And specimens being a scarab shell and an iron hard needles.
Yeah. Cool.
My drive that I chose was seek out relics of the Eaton Desert. And I don't really know what this means yet, but the other drive that I could choose was solve problems in Ectus settlements, and I just don't think that she cares.
Yeah, she's kind of trying to get away from the cannibalistic
Yeah, exactly.
paths. Yeah. That makes sense to me.
And then for my mire, I chose your vision dims, your blooms wilting. I mostly like the visuals of that. And the one last thing about Ectus that I want to bring up is that in the book, they mentioned that they lack a mouth, so they eat by crushing food in their hands and absorbing the juices, which it just sounds so sinister when you think about where she
it's
came
messed
from.
up.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You're
Straight up,
fucked
that's messed up.
Hey, you're kind of twisted.
I kind of love it.
It's a little fucked up.
Hey, Jay,
just
you're
a little
kind of
bit
twisted.
fucked up.
But I like it. All right.
For the aspects, I chose 1,000 needles, which is deal spike damage to any creature that attacks you with their own body. So basically, if you get too close to me, I hurt you.
Yeah.
And then there was one called burrowing bees, which also is sort of like a damage resisting kind of thing. You are immune to damage and effects caused by swarms, but I'd like to rebrand these also as termites.
Yeah. I like it. I like the rebrand. I like that.
May
I
I?
like the termites. You
Okay.
may. So you're
Mother
with
may
it.
I?
You're like a tree.
I'm a tree.
Yeah. I'm into it.
I'm a tree who ate people is the thing about me that you got to know.
Here's a question. Did you eat people or did you eat other trees?
I thought about this so much, because there's so many different bloodlines. And I was like, what does cannibalism mean to a place that has this many bloodlines? Does it mean I only eat trees? And I think where I landed is that if they were like kind of intelligent and sentient, it counts. So I think that I think she's eaten all sorts, you know, just any kinds of guy that walks in, you know?
Any kind of guy.
Just any kind of guy. Great. And then your origin.
My origin is Ridgeback, which is where this cannibalism stuff comes up, and they're also based in like mountaintops. That's sort of their vibe. Ridgeback life is often tough and uncompromising. For this edge, I chose Teeth, which I again don't.
Teeth is savagery, passion, and destruction.
Yeah, I remember why I chose that. For my skills and languages, I chose Brace, Break, Cook, Tend, and Tend is one of the like Healy ones, and I went with Chthonic for the languages. I didn't want to choose anything too like smart. I just don't think that's really her vibe.
Yeah, why would you be smart?
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
That sounded more mean than I meant it to
Being
be,
smart
but
for chumps,
that wasn't the
actually.
vibe.
Yeah.
For the resources, my specimens, I chose giant wolf jaw and gorse root. And I don't know what a gorse root is, but I like it.
Very nice.
The mouthfeel is great.
The mouth.
And then I did choose a did choose a whisper here, which is Caves Beneath.
Well, you get
And I'm
2
pretty
from that
excited
whole
to-
list. So you got to choose between Giant Wolfjaw and Gorseroot if you want Caves Beneath.
Ooh. Let's go Gorse Root.
Yeah, the mouth feels real good.
The mouthfeel is right.
So did you just chew on gorse root when, you're feeling stressed?
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah,
chew.
Yeah, clap my hands together. For my drive, I chose both of them have to do with climbing a mountain, which isn't super conducive to an underwater in quotation marks adventure.
Mountains
what do
are
we call it?
all
What's this
kinds
called
of
again?
different places.
Fair enough.
In the drink, I think is what they call it. No, they call it something.
In the deep?
In the
Yeah.
sink, the depths in the sink.
It's the skies, the thrash, the tangle, the sink, and the drown.
The sink and the drown.
Oh,
And then the darkness
oh,
under
the
eaves.
drown is so good. Okay, well, within the drown or wherever, my drive is to discover and claim an unknown mountaintop, and my mire is that my mind turns to sacrifice in times of trouble.
Fucking A.
For the aspects, I chose Leviathan furs, which is that I never mark mire when confronted with an unknown or terrifying beast, no matter the size, just in case.
That sounds convenient.
And it's a little convenient. And I went barrel chested because I'm big.
Very nice. Hell yeah. And finally, what is the post of this formerly cannibalistic Willow Ridgeback?
I wanted to go with the char, like the cook position, because I thought that was so sinister. But I know when we talked about previously, I know Brian was looking at char.
I think I'm going a different way, so take it if you want it.
I pivoted too, so maybe we just don't have a char, and that's fine. I ended up going steep, which is like the tea making kind of. I love that. That's
Also
a job.
down for that.
It's a different kind of sinister for sure.
Also for a juice absorber, yeah, it makes sense.
Well, that's it, right? I'm just making tea out of all these guys.
Oh no.
Any guy that walks in.
Any guy that walks in is becoming my tea.
Making guy tea.
For my edge, I chose instinct, my tea.
The instinct edge is sense, intuition, and reaction. I guess that's kind of self-explanatory.
Yeah. For skills, I picked concoct, cook. So I get another one in cook, harvest, sway, and a language, which is liar bite.
The lilting language of poets and songwriters.
Yeah. There's something sweet about it, right?
Yeah, I'm having a feeling that she's gonna be sweet until she's not is gonna be her vibe.
Yeah. I wouldn't worry about it.
Sour sweet.
There's
girl.
nothing to worry about.
I wouldn't think too hard about it.
Very, very cool.
For my resources, I'm going to pick both of the whispers, which is Circle of Friends and Truth in Steam.
Truth in Steam goes unreasonably hard.
It really do. It's unbelievable. For my drive, I'm going to bring calm to others in the midst of turbulence. And finally, for my mire, paranoia engulfs you. Has something taken root?
I love it.
Oh, and then my aspects for the steep are I picked reading the remains, consume a specimen to ask a question and read an omen in your remnants. And the winning wishbone, given the proper time and equipment, a steep can brew a hearty stock. Triumphs and rolls made to brew heal 1 mark of damage for all crewmates who share in the result.
Oh, very good, very good. Dope. And do you have a name and pronouns for this creature?
I think I'm gonna go name-wise. I'm gonna go Cherry, and she, her for pronouns.
Dope. Cherry is a good name. Hell yeah. All right, Kendo, Brian, or Abby, which one of you wants to go next?
Yeah, I can take it. So our last season, I like giving myself little challenges to do. Last season, when we played 9 Lives to Valhalla, the character of death only spoke in anapestic tetrameter. And I, reading this book, noticed that there was a in-world thing called tree shanties rather than sea shanties. And boy, oh boy, during the pandemic, did I get into sea shanties.
So
really did.
I want a character who is in search of sea shanties and maybe making them himself. So with that in mind, I wanted to make a Mothrin, which is like a moth person. What I like about these guys is that they've got like short lifespans, like 20 years, but they can repupate and like essentially be reborn like a phoenix, but with wildly different personalities. And like, it's very Doctor Who-y. Like you have vague memories and then totally different person. But my thought with that is that I like the idea of someone who is searching for something that they can't quite remember. And I think specifically it is like a sea shanty that is like half remembered in the back of his mind.
Excuse me, it's a tree shanty.
Excuse me, a tree shanty.
Thank you,
that is
Abby.
like half remembered. And I think he's kind of signing on with this crew because he's explored all the like easy places to explore and all the like obvious places where these things would be. The only place to go is further and further and further out and into the depths and into the wilds.
Very cool.
So I think my edge with Mothrin is going to be grace,
elegance, precision, and agility.
Yeah, I think the skills are... Can I put 2 in a thing?
You can put up to 3 in the same thing.
I'm going to put 2 in flourish, 1 in sense, 1 in study, and then 1 in signaling.
Cool.
For resources, I think this is a guy not only collecting songs, but also collecting whispers. And the whispers for this are rationing ended and vibrant riot.
Fuck yeah.
So I'm going to take both of those and not look back. The drive is either throwing yourself into dire situations with vigor or solving baffling problems with style. I'm solving baffling problems with style.
Yeah, so stylish.
This is a person that has a soundtrack to their life and they like it that way. And my Myers to choose from are your elegance evaporates, leaving you clumsy, which I kind of like, or the rationing returns, your colors and stories fade.
Damn.
Which there
Those
is
are
something
both
in like
good.
Mothrin like lore that references the rationing of color, but that's not really like explained what that is. So I kind of like the rationing returns, your colors and stories fade.
Yeah.
I think this is the person that like that's the worst case scenario for them.
Especially if you've got generations of memories swirling around in your head.
Yeah, when those go, it's like that's a second death, kind of.
Yeah. And then what's your origin? Oh, no, aspects.
I gotta do my aspects. My 2 aspects are, I used to know this. I could treat a conflict as a triumph when rolling for an action without a skill adding to your dice pool. And then marks of where we've been. Chart-like decorations cover your wings and fur. Mark to use this aspect in place of a chart, but only when
Cool.
traveling through an area you've visited before.
Very cool.
I think it feels very, what's that Christopher Nolan movie?
Memento.
Where it's just like he's marking down the things on his body.
Wild.
Very sick.
Wow.
You gotta check off the places you've been.
It's tragic.
And what about your origin?
I think origin, rootless, born into the wild Sarah's life on a ship of a floating colony. I think this guy's always been on the sea. Especially because you're repupating, you're kind of coming back in, partially formed.
So is that the origin of his most recent pupation or back when he was born? Or do you not know?
I don't think it was like born, but I think it's been enough repupations that it's like, it might as well be.
Yeah.
My edge for this, I think it'll be, what does tides do?
Exploration, learning, and lore.
Oh yeah, tides, that's what it is.
There you go.
Skills, I'm going to do 1 more for flourish.
Bring that up to 3.
Yeah, it's up at 3. 1 for scavenge and 1 for sway, I think.
Dope.
Oh, and then I'm going to take 1 more for signaling as a language and 1 point in brass tongue. Which I don't really know what brass tongue is.
It is the clipped and precise language of traders.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. Oh, actually, you know what? Can I take 1 less in... instead of doing 2 in signaling, I'm going to do 2 in brass tongue and just 1 in signaling.
Sounds good.
Resources, I'm going whispers again for welcoming fleet. And I'll grab some firefly bulbs as well. For my drive, I think it's aid rootless ships and colonies. I think it's not something that he does a lot, but it's something that he sees kind of kindred spirits in people who are lost at sea.
Nice.
And I think my mire is that the sky is wide and oppressive.
Yeah. Isn't it?
Isn't it, though?
Ain't it just?
Heavy sigh.
In your aspects?
I think one will be wild words. Mark it to remember a rumor or folktale pertinent to your situation. I think this guy's a collector of songs is the thing that he cares about, but like lore, information, that's his trade.
Yeah. You're like not a D&D bard, but like a true historic bard kind of vibe.
Yeah. It is spoken word as a thing. Oh, I think Nomad's phrase book. Whenever you take a montage, you can study your phrase book in addition to your usual task, gaining a smattering of any one language until your next montage.
Cool.
So just able to converse enough to get some information if needed.
Great. So that's your origin, and then what post are you thinking for this guy?
Post? I'm thinking Horizoneer. A fountain of facts about sea and its culture, its dangers, its hidden places.
Cool.
That feels. I mean, it literally says bardic tradition on the thing. So that feels right.
Spat and
I think I'm gonna take for my edge. I could either do veils or sharps.
Are you secrety or are you logic-y?
I think that it says logic, wit, and planning. I think it's wit. So I think I'm gonna take sharps.
Great.
For skills and languages, I'm going to take one more in brass tongue, one in outwit, and 2 in study.
Cool.
Resources, I'm just taking all whispers. New Horizons and Over the Ridge.
Very good.
For drive, I think it's discover a hidden culture or enclave. I think at this point he thinks that he has exhausted a lot of places where he might find this song or like these stories, and now he's looking for people who are unfamiliar to him that might have different stories, different songs they found in a past life or a past pupation. Mire, I either stumble over my words at the worst of times, or I slip in and out of the various languages I know.
I feel like the second one.
Especially because I have just like a phrase book. Yeah, I think I slip in and out of the languages I know. I know how to speak to traders. I know how to speak to...
I feel like it also makes it harder for you to remember the tree shanties because you can't remember what language it was in.
And you tell them different, slightly different each and every time. You know what I mean? It's like how a cook...
Exactly, yeah.
Brian, this could be a fun way for you to have 1,000 accents.
Yeah, you could slip into different accents.
This is actually demand that you have 1,000 accents.
Yeah, Brian, don't show up unless you have 1,000 accents, actually.
Yeah.
Well, all right. I think I can at least... I got one here.
You have one accent.
And I've been working a bit on my Irish accent, so I can maybe try something around here. But
there you go.
Nice.
Fucking nice, right? So I think as far as aspects go, I think for Horizoneer, I think that this kind of person would have a tuning fork. Once per scene, increase impact when engaged in a performance of some kind.
Dope.
Oh, I see sheaf of 100 stories. Gain a whisper whenever you encounter a spectacle, horror, or new port during a journey. That feels like it.
No, that doesn't sound right. Yeah, no.
That feels correct.
Great. And do you have a name and maybe pronouns for this character?
This is a person I did not yet have a name for. I think I'm going to go with he, him, because that's how I've been referring to him thus far. I don't know. Anyone have any pitches for a wandering bard looking for a song?
Flutter?
Wesley.
Cricket?
Oh, I like Flutter.
You don't like Cricket, though?
Nice.
Flutter is nice.
I don't like Cricket, no.
Whistling Dixie.
Yeah, Brian, what about Whistling Dixie?
What about Whistling Dixie? Hey, now I'm Whistling Dixie. You can call me Dixie for short, or Whistling.
Dixie's not bad, honestly.
My friends know me as Dixie, but you can call me Whistling if you know.
So no one calls you Dix, is what I'm hearing.
No, Whistling was my father.
Whistling was my father. You can call me Whistling.
I like whistle, too.
I like the way that there's a lot of nicknames in there. It feels right that you would have a dozen different nicknames for a dozen different people, right? Rather than commit to one.
Yeah, you would be the kind of person who like, I feel like it's usually wizards, but for you, it's like as a bard, you're known by different names in so many different places. Like you could come up with different.
Also, because you pupated so many times.
Mhm.
I think that is a thing.
Yeah.
I think I have somewhat lost my own name, but I know it's something near Whistling.
Oh, yeah.
So it's like different people know me as like Whistling Dixie, Whistling Dick, Whistle.
Like you might have been
Whistly.
William 3 generations ago or something.
It's totally possible my original name was Bill, and it slowly changed.
I like that. I like that a lot.
But I think
That's great.
Most currently whistling.
I think the crew mostly knows me as Whistling, but I'll respond to anything that is anywhere close to that because I think that was probably me at one point.
What a gift.
Yeah. Whist.
Nice.
Love it. We love whistling. All right, Abby or Kendo?
Kendo, go for it.
I can go.
Hit it.
So for my bloodline, I'm going Celicrae, the kind of hive mind, rather than spiders, of course. I am a horde of miniature bats.
Of course you
So many
motherfucker.
Kendo.
I told you it became very specific over the course of the session.
You've been sitting on
No
that.
notes. No notes.
10 out
Oh,
of
don't
10.
worry. It's only going to get better. I can guarantee you that. Would you prefer me to say the bloodline origin and
I kind of like the slow reveal of getting the pieces of each.
Okay, so Celicrae, I am a bunch of bats. Miniature bats, mind you, that have become
bats.
a person. For my edges, for my first edge, I'm gonna go teeth,
Savagery,
Yeah.
passion, and destruction.
yeah, teeth, and then for skills and languages, I think I'm going to put 2 in scavenge, 2 in vault, and 1 in flourish.
Cool.
For resources, I'm going to go the whisper, a prison of skin.
Yeah.
And,
Yucky.
and
Oh my God.
and the salvage patterned canvas.
Ooh, nice.
For my first drive, I'm going to go show others they are wrong to fear your kind.
Oh.
And then my mire is going to be bats escape my skin, striving for individuality.
Very.
That's where we get our bat friends.
Just, regular bat.
You've just been leaking bats for months.
Every now and then there's a bat that gets away, and I'm like,
I love that it's seeking
What do you mean
individuality.
oh, don't worry, that's coming back. That's coming back around. That's coming back around.
Yet another broken thing.
Not to do this already, but can I guess and something, Kendo?
Yes, please.
So I looked up what the smallest bat species was because I had to, and they call it the bumblebee bat, or the kitty's hognose bat. It's about each are an inch long, just over an inch long, and each weigh about 2 grams each. And they're adorable.
Yes.
They're like a
Yes.
fingertip size.
Really?
Yes, yes,
They're very
yes,
cute.
yes. I love that.
Wow. Kendo, what about aspects for your Zelicrae?
My aspects are going to be Ursat's limbs, because I like things with extra limbs.
Love that.
And shirk the skin, so I can turn into a lot of little bats.
Very good.
Because of course.
Makes sense.
Yeah, everybody wants to be Dracula, who blows out into a bunch of bats and fly everywhere.
1 million bats.
Soak the skin is a good thing to call out because that is a ability that you burn to use rather than mark. So burning a track is like a more permanent mark to a track that takes a little bit more than just healing to recover. So that's good ability to take.
Okay.
And what about your origin for this bat friend?
So the origin of this bat friend is anchored.
Fucking A.
Because I believe that what is now a person that is a bunch of bats used to be a different person who died
That checks.
beneath the waves, and then their consciousness got grafted onto these very many bats during a terrible accident, which we will get to. And so now the bats escaping for individuality is because not every bat in there wants to be this person or even understands that they are this person. It's a constant struggle between I am this person now and I'm also a bunch of bats who are this person.
Question: the bats that are just running around the ship, are those you? Did those leave you? Is that what happened? That we got a bunch of bats because
we're going to get to it. We're going to get to it.
Hey, yo, we're gonna get there.
We're gonna get there. Hey, I like where your mind's at. You're in the right place.
Kendrick, I love you.
We're gonna get there.
I love you.
Love you so much.
My edge is going to be iron. And my skills, I'm going to put 1 into old hand. I'm going to put 2 into sense, and then another 2 in hunt. And then for resources, I'm going to choose glowing plasma as a specimen, and then the whisper back from beyond.
I'm a little scared of your little.
Hey, see, that's why my drive is to make you not so scared.
Scared but cute, also.
Just a friendly guy.
Just a friendly little bat guy, you know?
Just a friendly little bad guy.
My drive is to no. So I have to just choose between send other spirits to a peaceful rest and reconnect with your friends and family. And then my question with the reconnect with friends or family, is it my family or the Bats' family?
Ooh. Or both.
Or both. Maybe both. I want to know what that means. You just, you know what? Let's go with reconnect with friends and family, because I think there's more interesting opportunities out of that one. My mire is both of those are really good.
Yeah, I like the first one for the fact that what you are
because it would just mean I keep collapsing into
because you waver erratically anyway.
Yeah, actually, okay, that's kind of what I was thinking. Okay, my material control wavers erratically because sometimes the bats do get there are waves of when I have control and when all of the bats.
Especially because you have an extra limb. I like to imagine your extra limb is just sometimes doing its own thing.
Yeah, I think the extra limbs are like an accident where it's like, sorry, I'm not trying. Some of the bats are. I'm trying to keep. They get the form down. They understand the form, not exactly where it should be.
Oh, so good.
I love apologizing for the extra limb.
It's like, I'm
sorry for him.
I'm so sorry.
So sorry about that.
That extra arm just kind of happens sometimes. That's on me. It's nothing you're doing, I promise you.
Not you.
It's not you. It's me.
It's the limb.
I'm bad. I think for my 2 aspects, I think I'm going to go resonant tether. Spirits in spectral realm become more visible and tangible to your entire crew in my presence.
I wonder what that does to Ezra, who can already see ghosts, if it becomes too visible.
You can't look directly at the bats.
Hell yeah. So you got 2 aspects there?
Yeah, that's my 2 aspects.
And then finally... Can't wait to hear how you round this out. What's the
thing that brings it all together? I want to paint you all a picture. One night, imagine our ship. Think of everything about our ship. You know, we've got this huge beating Leviathan heart at the core of the ship, sparking off our voltaic what are they? The thrusters, the things that keep the ship moving. We've got all of these things going, lightning bouncing off of every edge, all of these bats flying around and such. And then disaster strikes. There's just kind of like a shock in the heart, one too many beats at a moment, causing a power surge through it. The lightning rod on the deck of our ship and hits one of the bats. Multiple of the bats. And as they hit the deck all around the same time, slowly crawling back together, they become a new form, a new person, tied together in mind. The energy of this Leviathan's heart and this strange magical electricity has bound a spirit of a previous sailor to these bats.
Who are Frankenstein bats.
Yeah. Yep. Yeah.
Swarm Jack? Is that what we're going with?
I'm all the way in.
Oh, man.
Tempest.
So
a tempest of bats.
Wait, what is it?
Tempest. So
Tempest.
a fragment of storm, lightning without thunder, and also a bunch of bats who are also a person.
And also.
What if bats but lightning?
What if bats but lightning? You know? What if bats but lightning? So,
Hey, Kendo?
Yeah.
That's cool as fuck. Go ahead.
Thank you. I appreciate it.
Yeah.
My edge is going to be grace.
Dope.
My skills for this are going to be what is rattle? Again,
rattle is to mend, maintain, or invent.
Okay, probably not that. I'm going to put another 1 into scavenge, another 1 into sense, and then 2 into flourish, and then 1 in rattle. Who knows this ship better than me? Born
Who?
of it.
Who knows the ship?
Who I ask? Who?
Who among us?
Who among us?
Who am I?
And then for resources, I'm going to go in the blood.
Yep.
As a whisper and a chart, a sketched lightning strike. And then my drive, communicate with a living storm on equal terms. Actually, wait, I'm sorry. No, not that one. Avert a disaster by causing another disaster. That one's more fun.
My God.
I'm so sorry. I can't help it. I'm just bad.
I'm sorry. I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry, everyone. And then my mire is going to... One of these is really fun, but I'm going to do what's right by all of us and the editor of this and not choose Your Voice is Thunder, impossible to lure from a shout. I will not be shouting this whole thing. I will be sparing you from that.
That's fair. That's fair.
And I'll go Sparks Pinwheel from you as you move.
Wow.
Oh, great. An easier sound design task.
Yeah, I was going to say, shouting is something you control. Sparks pinwheeling is something Brian has to make.
No, it's fine.
You don't have to hear me yell in your ear all the time, though. So you can, you know.
So I have a pitch for you, Kendo, if you're worried about Brian. And Brian, feel free to poo-poo this, because maybe it's more complicated. I was going to say, instead of shouts, it could be that, like, your voice becomes noticeably layered, like, in terms of the sound design. Like, the bats' voices are a little off. Like, we just duplicate your voice.
A wild voice.
Yeah.
Okay. Hey, if you're okay with that and you think it will be listenable, I'm down for that.
Yeah, it'll be listenable. I think when we're recording, we'll coach you through what you should and shouldn't do with your voice. But
yeah, just make yourself a little more chaotic, and then we can make it real chaotic in
it'll be
post.
Cool. Then yeah, I'll go Voices Thunder, impossible to lower from her shout. But rather than a shout, it's just the cacophony of a bunch of small bats.
There's nothing. There's no word a sound designer likes more than cacophony.
Cacophony.
I love that word.
Let me tell you.
Yeah. And there's so many delicious aspects on the Tempest page.
So many
So
different.
sorry you can only choose 2, but I'm curious which ones you're feeling.
Well, it would be a shame if I didn't choose something that let me shoot lightning. So I will be going Lightning's Call. You can direct bursts of voltaic energy through your palms or fingers, dealing LR volt damage.
Very good.
And I know we said that there are some in here that let me help make the engine run is the thing, which is kind of funny.
Maybe one day.
You're like a set of paddles for the heart.
Yeah, just like, which could be cool. I think being able to conjure a storm is also kind of great.
Also, can we talk about, you don't have to go with this, but the Iron Jaw 7-string?
I saw that. It looks kind of cool.
A guitar-like instrument carved from the bones of an Iron Jaw ray produces a harsh, buzzing tone when played that seems to awaken the spirit of rebellion in some.
I can't do that because then the bats start acting up. And they're fighting for
one strum of that guitar and you're just one bat.
Yeah. Voltamotive interfacing is kind of fun in a lot of ways. It's so hard to choose.
Is that the engine one?
Yeah, so it says you can act as an additional or main engine for your ship, powering its bite with your mere presence. Increase your ship's speed rating by 1 when you're aboard.
Wow.
Which is kind of cool.
That's cool.
That's cool as hell.
That's cool
Right?
as hell, actually. Yeah.
Not to sway, but I think it's sick.
There's also internal battery, marked to kickstart a machine, charge a depleted power source, or temporarily increase the effectiveness of an engine. I think I'm leaning between I can be the engine, or I can help kickstart other machines while also the engine.
I like the fact that because I like the fact that you replace the engine temporarily, because that way our engine is still very broken. You know, so like maybe you herd along those beasts a little bit using both your electricity powers and the fact that you are one of them. You too are bat.
I am one of the bats. I too am a bat. Okay, yeah, let's go Voltamotive. I too
There's
am
a lot of bat stuff happening.
Let's go Voltamotive interfacing.
This is a bat-heavy season.
A very bat-heavy season.
And Kendo, what's the name and pronouns of this cluster of bats?
I don't think they remember their original name.
Mm-hmm. But their current name is Batman.
No, absolutely not. Absolutely not. For whatever reason, they really don't like it when you
when you point out that they're made of bats.
For whatever reason.
For whatever reason, they really don't like being called Batman.
All right, fine. The savior of Gotham.
Man Bat. That's the name of her ship, Gotham. I am Man Bat.
What about Bat? Sorry,
Bat.
I'm done.
So here's the thing. I was thinking of either just being called Bat or alternatively Pat.
Pat the Bat.
Pat the Bat.
I kind of like just Bat.
I'm
know.
cool.
I love Bat.
Bat's pretty good, I think.
Yeah.
Because the way I'm imagining their conscious is like the consciousness is a mixture of like ghosts of memories of a person that they vaguely remember themselves to be, while also the acknowledgement that there are multiple creatures who have this memory, and many of them are trying to be like, okay, let's act this out to see what this is and who we are. And there are others that don't like that and don't want to be here, but are drawn in it in like a kind of weird way. And so they use they, it pronouns as a mixture of they don't fully see themselves as an individual being, but they kind of are. Like if like, what is the there becomes a point of like a bunch of small things making up a bigger thing. At what point is that differentiated from us, who are technically a bunch of tiny microscopic organisms making up a big thing?
I love it.
And so there's a lot of internal issues with that.
There's a lot of internal issues happening with that.
There's a lot of
There's
issues
a lot of
going
internal
on.
issues happening with Bat.
Yeah. So bat singular.
Bat singular.
Got it.
Bat the
Hell-
bats.
Bat or
Yeah.
bats, depending. I
Bat
think
or
you
bats,
could do.
depending on
I
mood?
think, yeah, depending on mood, it's either is fine, bat or bats, because they do acknowledge we are multiple bats. That we are. That would be an accurate statement. We're also one person. Bat.
We are bats. I am bat.
Wow.
Bats, Battleby,
Mhm.
Bartholomew.
We are bad.
They are bats.
We are
It is
bat.
bat.
They're bat.
Follow
It
me.
is bat.
We are back.
Holy moly.
Wow, that was worth the wait.
That was a
Very
rhyme.
fun.
It was a journey.
Last
Thank
but
you.
certainly not least, Abigail Hepworth.
What an act to follow. All right. Unfortunately, this didn't help me decide, so you guys can help me pick. Either I want to play an Ectus rattle hand, so like tinkerer, building things, crafting, and her thing is that as an Ectus, she's like kind of ancient and she's kind of a hoarder who's obsessed with like preserving or fixing old things. And
This is why you wanted the extra closet space.
yes, this is why I wanted the bay. So that she's sort of
For all
a
your little
hoarder who
things.
just like holds on to everything and is constantly trying to add things to the ship and fix and tinker. Or to do a Ketra mesmer, which is sort of like
Ooh.
this is where the mind control / like persuasion and in my mind I'm reading her as sort of, again, ancient. I'm playing an old woman no matter what.
Of course.
Of course. Of just sort of like a vibes prophet, feeling the things, and thought that she could be the she came with Clarabelle.
That's
the
some
reason
vibes profit.
the reason she's on the ship is because she and Clarabelle have sort of a mind meld
And you're
connection.
taking care of her.
Yeah, because otherwise I'm not entirely sure what the post of Mesmer, like it feels semi-navigation, but not literal like positioning of waves. It's just like, I think that we should turn to the east.
I think it's big vibes. Like
She's big vibes.
big vibes.
So it's either Ketra, Mesmer, Vibes Queen, or Ectus, Rattlehand, Hoarder who likes to tinker.
I love them both.
Oh.
But the
a tough call.
Ketra, because one, the Ketra are from the Beneath, right?
That was another thought I had, yeah.
And
Go ahead.
I'm just like, this, it's so flavorful.
So, Abby, from having played with you a bunch, I feel like the rattle is something I've maybe kind of seen you do before, and the mesmer is something new that I'm excited about.
I'm
Okay.
drawn to that one too.
Also, you get to take care of a big.
Also, you get to
thing.
be the caretaker for a big.
So this was the other thought was I thought either she came with Clarabelle, which I think is the sort of easier letter one, or somehow she is the connection to the Leviathan heart. But I feel like it's I kind of
both.
like the idea of the, like, we just don't talk about how we ended up with this Leviathan heart, like story unknown.
Can I make it weirder? None
Yeah.
of you remember why you have a Leviathan heart engine.
It's way weirder.
It's great.
All right, then I'm
That's
gonna
so
go
good.
Ketra, Mesmer, and Kendo. If it's cool with you, I was also gonna do Anchored, but
That's okay.
coincidentally had already picked out pretty much all the opposite stuff, so that works.
Yeah, no, that's fine. Go for
All right,
it.
cool.
Very cool. All right, let's go through the Ketra first. What are your picks?
All right, Ketra. We're gonna go with. For Edge, we're gonna go Veils, of course.
Ooh, I've been waiting
She's
for
all
a Veils.
about vibes.
I don't think anybody else did a Veils. I like that.
She's
Wow.
going major vibes. And then for skills and languages, I think signaling
And vibes.
I like Raka Spit.
Ruckus spit.
Sense and sway.
Hey.
Hey, baby.
Can I roll a sway check?
All the S skills.
Sense check.
Spit, sense, scavenge, sway.
Ruckus spit, baby.
And then resources, we're definitely going with the comforting dark, which is a whisper. And
Wow.
a luminescent bone.
Just a luminescent bone. Yeah.
It's dark down there, baby. You gotta have some form of light.
It's dark. It's dark.
My drive is to raise a pre-verdant structure. And my mire is sparks and jolts course through your extremities. And then for my aspects, I am tunnel-wise, so I treat conflicts as triumphs when navigating or moving through enclosed areas.
Very
Tunnel
good.
wise, but field foolish. Am I right?
Hey, Brian.
That joke was either going to swing one way or the other. It was going to be either big hit or big
Let's
miss.
go ahead and log off.
All right. Yeah, it's cool.
Oh, and then whispers in the dark while in a dimly lit or unlit area, mark to learn a secret from the darkness.
God damn. And that's not even your mesmer aspect?
Yowza.
Cut out of here.
Yeah, baby.
Flavor some.
And then your origin is anchored.
Is also anchored,
Dope.
but I picked a lot of different things.
We love different things.
So the two aspects are Geist Hand. So you can manipulate nearby objects without touching them, though the heavier they are, the harder it is. And Siphoning Fork, which is whenever your crew gains a piece of cargo, gain a whisper related to it or its previous owners for yourself. And then for Edge, we're going to go Tides. For skills and languages, we're going to go Old Hand, Wave Walk, because that sounds cool, Outwit, and Delve.
I like you having wave walk because you might just walk out to feed Clarabelle instead of.
Yes, I like traveling in a straight line, so I just sort of walk through things.
Oh my God.
Resources, I want a sketch of shadowed paths and drowned and not whisper.
Drowned and not. Wow.
And not.
That's really good.
My drive is to send other spirits to a peaceful rest. And then for my mire, I wanted to pick the same one. That's the only one that's the same, if that's cool. So my material control wavers erratically occasionally.
I'm into that.
Okay, cool.
And then last but not least, your post.
Mesmer. For this one, the edge, I'm going to go instinct. Skills and languages. We'll go Hiven, Tend, Sway again, and Flourish. Resources. We're going hallucinogenic leaf.
Hey, you know it.
Yeah.
And we're gonna
I'm so
take-
sorry. I should have
Fucking know it.
guessed.
You know it. And then I'm going to take the whisper beneath the surface.
Uh-huh.
My drive is, uncover a great mystery buried in the mind. And my mire, I think, is my own thoughts are cloudy and mercurial.
This is another one with a lot of juicy aspects.
Juicy aspects.
There's a lot of juice in this.
Hey, they put a whole lot of juice in this book. How'd they get all that juice in there?
They squeezed it out.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, kudos to the designers for squeezing the juice out of this.
Shout out
Yeah.
Felix for
They really
juicing the hell out
squeezed.
of this book.
There's so much juice in this bad boy.
Really, they injected juice into the
All
book.
right, I'm going to go auto hypnosis.
Nice.
You've learned to meditate rather than sleep. I'm always there, baby. And
Unsettling.
This is my nightmare.
I also my idea is you can never hear her footsteps because there are none. So sometimes she just sort of shows up behind you and she's like, hey, what's up?
Hey, you awake?
Man, I feel like my character is someone who loves to talk but is over you. It's like you're around too much.
I feel like despite the fact that Bat is sort of born of the ship, that I feel very much like I'm haunting the ship.
Wow.
And then I'm going to do empty the mind, ignore cut from pain, hallucination, and distractions while trying to act.
Damn. Cool.
There's so many good ones, though. That was hard to pick.
If you
Yeah.
change your mind between now and session 1, just shoot me a message and feel free to update your character sheet. Do you have a name and pronouns for this mysterious creature?
She, her, and her name, we're going to go Izora.
Ooh.
Izora.
Come on.
Zora.
Izora.
Wow. Very good. Very excited for Izora and Clarabella's relationship. And there's so many weird little freaks on the ship, guys.
Bunch of weird little guys. I
Bunch of
also
weird
feel like
little
if we
freaks.
just circle back to the very first one of imagine being that
That man.
man
Or
waking up here.
Wow, I forgot we just started with a true just guy.
Just the person who
Just a
woke up.
guy.
I woke up in a lightless room surrounded by a big, heavy black heart, a bunch of bats, a walking,
The
talking
closest
tree,
thing to a person.
a moth that seems to have grown way too large, and whatever the fuck this Mesmer is supposed to be.
I'd like to think that
Wild.
your character, because this ship feels a bit more odd than most things are in this world. So we're really just kind of dunking you in it. Every other place you go and every other person you meet outside of us are really normal by comparison.
Yeah. It's trial by fire here.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm curious. I'm tempted to make to change some stuff around to make it even I'm fresh new. Right before session 1, you pop me out of amber and I'm fucked.
Just crack the lid on this one, all right?
So with the creation of Izora, that completes the hidden track.
Ooh. What's the treat we get?
What's the treat?
The treat is, and this is a good start to the last thing we'll do today, which is our sort of crew cohesion questions. And because of time, this treat is going to be a little piece of homework. The track was the Whisper Well.
What?
And by creating our characters, I'm going to do a little bit of meta world building, and I'm going to say that focusing in on this story has made the world of the Wildsea, kind of interested in us. And one of the first things you all did as a full cohesive crew was travel to this legendary spot called the Whisper Well, which is a perfectly circular rift in the waves, a hole that people say goes all the way down to the darkness under eaves. And each of you sacrificed something by throwing it into the hole and were given a whisper back that speaks to something about your character, their place in the world, their backstory, or an unspoken truth only they know. So I'm going to send you guys that again so you remember, but I want to know what you sacrificed into the Whisper Well and what the whisper you gained from it is before session 1.
Wow.
Hell yeah.
And that's how tracks work.
Yeah.
Cool.
So anytime we finish a track, we get a treat? That's
No,
what I've learned?
sometimes you get hurt real bad.
Oh, no.
Oh no, I like these tracks better.
This is a better track, I think, actually.
Only candy tracks, please.
So the last thing we're going to do
Please.
is some crew cohesion questions, just kind of like asking some questions about your relationships to start building dynamics. So we have all of our individual characters. You got your little treat. I want to throw some questions out there to get a sense of what your dynamic is as a crew. So the first question that is sort of a group question is, how long have you been a complete crew?
I think maybe with the exception of Dr. Ezra, who might be a new addition.
with the exception of Dr. Ezra.
Yeah.
Or maybe
Well, I was gonna
he's
say
been a
just
part of
as
the crew
long
for a
as Ezra's
while,
been
but
here.
we just didn't know it. In that we had the amber clad, just hadn't like cracked the lid yet. It's just in the cargo bay, you know.
Did we have the amber that you were in and it cracked whilst on the ship?
Somebody had to crack me open, and I feel like I'd love it for it to be y'all. You brought me aboard and you were nice enough, because sometimes people aren't nice. They just sell you off to the highest bidder. But you found this guy in a great coat just sitting there in amber with a squirrel, inexplicably.
And a great coat.
Right. Right.
Yeah. and you like, okay, why don't we just chisel him out? We know we can, so we will. And you did. And now I'm part of your fucked up little family.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
It's like, guys, listen, if we get him out and he's fine, great. We got another crew member. If not, dibs on the jacket.
The jacket's so good.
Also, depending upon how we go to the Whisper of the Wells, because if you thought there might be a lot of pre-V stuff here, this dude is definitely pre-V. So it would make sense to break him out just in case he has extra information about this place. I don't think I do. But,
true.
I
feel like we've been a crew for maybe a couple months. It's like enough time that like we've got a solid routine, but there's new things to discover about
and
everybody.
enough time where we don't have to do the "Who are you?" scene.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Classic.
Yeah. Classic.
We know each other, but can still be surprised.
There'll still be plenty of you not understanding things, I think, but at least this cast of characters.
So have I been traveling with you for those months? Or is that not including me?
I think maybe I think there's if you want time before you, but then you can kind of say, have you been with us for a week, a month, 24 hours?
I feel like 24 hours would be saying, make session 1 about me, and I'm not going to do that. But a week sounds right.
I'm down for a week.
Yeah.
Just get your sea legs.
And the rest of you, how long have you been together? Because I think both answers are interesting.
Maybe like not a full year, but maybe 9-10 months.
Okay.
8 months.
I think of that 10 months because I think I was created / born during the period of time since it was the ship that did it. So maybe I've been around for 2-3 months.
Okay.
That makes sense. So the other 3 of you have been like a crew for the whole time.
I kind of also think that as I'm like going through my stats and shit, I realize that this guy's been like reborn over and over again. So I keep thinking of him in my mind as like young, but actually it's old. Like this guy feels because all the stuff I put into are in like study and exploration and like finding out shit. So I think he's got a very like professorial vibe in that he's like the doctor or the person who is like leading the research element of this like research ship.
Okay, cool.
Mm-hmm. Okay, so now the rest of these questions I'm going to throw to individual people to answer about somebody else as like a way of kind of building some dynamics. So I think I want to throw this to Cherry. Who kept you in the crew when you almost left?
I have an immediate gut reaction, and that is Izora. Is that
Yes.
Is it Izora or Izara?
Izora.
Okay. Yeah, I feel like I have I feel just comforted by Izora. And maybe it's I feel like, because especially with your points in Sway, I feel like you might have some like almost leadership vibes that I think I want to, my personality is drawn to. So I think I find myself around you a lot.
I like it.
And she convinced you to stay when you almost left?
Yeah, I mean, either in words or like in just like
Or
if
just
I had
vibes.
an inkling of wanting to go, and then maybe I just thought about like I just was comforted by. I don't know. What do you think? Do you think we've had talks about my traumatic past?
It's all vibes.
I think, yeah, you feel comfortable sharing it because I like kind of just baseline don't necessarily have big swing emotional reactions to things. So I'm like, damn, girl.
Damn, that's crazy.
That's
Damn.
crazy.
That's awesome. I love that.
Oh my god, that's crazy.
Hey, you are right.
Like, wow. That sounds nice.
Well, that's crazy.
I'm gonna throw this one to Bat/Bats. Who on the ship do you owe a debt to?
That's a good question. I guess who here would be the nicest to all of the bats before I existed?
I don't know.
Zora can't be all the nice question
I was
answers,
gonna
but
say
that's
Zora.
where
Come on,
that's where my
someone
brain
else
went.
had to have been
Yeah.
nice to the bats. Come on.
She would have
Anyone
been
feed any
real
bats?
on board with those bats.
During periods of time? No one? Okay.
I could see Whistling being nice to the bats. It's like bats, Mothrin. It's
a story.
of a
Yeah.
vaguely kindred spirit.
Yeah. If assuming that your character, maybe spent time out there, maybe like threw some fruit to some of them every now and then. I think we remember that, and we really appreciated it. Actually,
I like that.
I really like that Bat speaks in we.
It's so good.
I think I also really like watching the bats because Mothrin, like, they have wings, but they're largely like decorative. We can like glide, but can't really fly. So it was like watching that and being like, man, that's cool.
Yeah. I like that.
Hell yeah.
Hell yeah. I am gonna throw this to Ezra because you're newer. Who among the crew kind of gives the most leadership vibes to you?
Out of this group?
Yeah.
Jesus.
Can we pick the officer, the unnamed officer who's also
Man,
part of the
that was the kind of violence against all of us.
You like us. You really like us. At least, I assume that you do, as you've listened to every minute of this episode. And yet you haven't already left us a 5-star review? Ugh. Well, what are you waiting for? Get over to Spotify or Apple Podcasts and leave that review now. It's always wonderful to hear words from our adoring fans. Getting more ratings helps people find the show and love it as well. And we love to hear your nice words. So head over to Spotify and Apple Podcasts and leave us that 5-star review. Ta-ta!
Can I
This
answer
bunch of...
myself? No.
You can. If you woke up from Amber and felt like I'm taking charge, like that's also an answer.
That's very funny.
No, I did. It was actually our unnamed crew member, and I'm going to give her a name now. Her name is Captain Kelly Turn. Captain Kelly Turn. Yeah.
Captain Kelly Turn.
It's so funny that she's trying to leave, but she's the captain.
She does not. She's like,
It's
this
so
ship
funny
is
that
too weird.
None of you are the captain.
This is too weird. I need to get out of here.
I feel like she was hired for the job and she keeps being like, I mean, it's decent money, but like, my God.
This
Listen, they haven't missed a payment yet.
but who do I give it to?
Oh man.
I mean, I feel like I actually have an aspect for Captain Kelly. Journeys unfinished, marked to learn the never reached destination or port of origin for any wreck you came across. Burned to learn for a ship still traveling. It's a 4-track trait. There you go. We circled back.
Yeah, Kelly.
Love it.
Yeah.
Yeah, I looked at all of the rest of them who just seemed very confused and a bit disconcerted and staring at my jacket in a way I do not like.
We all keep eyeing it. We still keep eyeing it.
Yeah. And Kelly was just, there and dependable and, nods when you ask a question and the answer is yes, and then moves on with her daily job. I feel like out of all of that, that's reliable right there. I don't know about the rest of these. That's reliable.
Listen, this guy, very nice. Probably gonna die soon, and if so, dibs on the coat.
I can hear you.
This is for Whistling.
Yeah.
Who do you stay up late with on watch when you're on long journeys?
Ooh. Actually, I think it is Dr. Ezra Karkas. Mostly because I'm peppering them with questions. Of like, hey, sing me the song of your people. Like, tell me who you are, what you are. Tell me some stuff from pre-Verdancy.
What does water look like when there's like a lot of it?
There's a lot of it. Like, what does it do?
As waves of trees are forming behind you.
It's like, have you ever spilled an ocean? Am I saying that right?
I don't know how big you think cups were back then, but they did not get much smaller.
Okay, what about a lake? Can you spill a lake?
Again, no.
Can you boil a lake?
I'm assuming the sun could.
Okay, cool.
Izora, who saw you at your lowest and still cares?
I think it's Bat. I think that Bat, yes, because you're everywhere all at once, sees things that perhaps other people don't, and so caught Izora in a moment of cloudiness and unsure of herself, and just continue to be supportive and like by her side physically. There's always a bat kind of within a 15-foot radius of her or something. And made me feel not so alone.
Yeah, I'm down for that. I like that.
And then I'll throw this as an option because you've all, I think, answered a question. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Does anybody want to answer a question that paints their character somewhat in a bad light?
Yes.
Yes.
Yep.
Okay, Brian. Brian, what have you stolen from somebody else in the crew?
Oh, damn, I want that coat.
Coat's obvious.
No. I stole. Oh, I definitely stole from Izora. 100%. Such an easy mark.
What's that mean?
It's just so spacey and so vibesy that I'm just like, all right, I'll take that.
She also, I feel like, has trouble really latching onto the idea. It's not like object permanence. It's more of the idea of like, what do objects even mean when you're spectral?
And I'm like, great, I will use that to my advantage. I think I took I feel like I took a book. I don't know what you would have a book of. You know what? I think let's make it fucked up. I think I took your journal.
Whoa. That's bad.
Okay.
Unfortunately, everything inside was just like vibes.
just like,
today was
all right.
Some of the pages are like kind of written in a spiral. Some of them are written in code, but like I made it up that day and I can't even tell you what it says anymore.
Yeah.
It's experiential reading.
Those were all the questions I had. I would open it up to if anybody else has a connection that they're feeling strongly about, feel free to toss it out there.
I mean, I have a question actually. Who was the first face I saw once I was chiseled from amber? It was one of y'all.
Mm-hmm.
Would any of them have the presence of mind to give you the like least scary?
Yeah,
to be the least scary?
I feel like all of them are terrifying.
Yeah, I can't think of one that wouldn't be scary.
And that's fine.
No.
I feel like a tree would be
might be
least
comforting.
scary to me.
Yeah.
Until it talked.
Yeah, you might not have even known it was a yeah, until it started
You
talking.
didn't think it was a person.
I do think you're coming out of it and you see a willow tree and you're just like, right, willow or cherry blossom, what was it?
Yeah,
Cherry
willow
willow.
tree.
Willow tree. You're like, oh,
Cherry
great.
willow.
It is heaven indeed. And then you turn and you see a skin filled with bats. Hey.
We were definitely all there, though. It was very much like the Wizard of Oz, of like, and you were there, and you were there.
And you were there, and you were there.
Oh my god.
All crowded in the engine room of the ship. Fuck.
Yeah.
Very good. Do you feel like, Ezra, you feel any kinship with Cherry because it was the first like living being you saw or she was the first, or Cherry's pronouns?
She.
Well, how did she introduce me into the world? What did she say? What did she do?
I do think that this makes sense because she is kind of a big, strong tree. So I feel like if anyone was going to break you out of the amber physically, it does kind of make sense that it would be her. So,
And also, I can almost see Cherry being like, and also if he's mean, I'll fight him when he gets out. Like, 'cause you're also kind of tough.
yeah, I'd probably be ready to get the juice out and make tea out of it.
I forgot. We've done a lot of stuff today, and I fully forgot.
About
Juice and tea.
Yeah.
Okay, backup question. Does everyone in the crew
Some
know
Sky
about
tea.
the juicing? Does everyone know about that?
I think
Yeah, I
only
partake.
Izora knows about the cannibalistic juicing.
Yeah, Izora knows and is like, we're all different.
I think Cherry still juices other
We're
food.
all
but
different.
I think I've been open about it. I think that, but the way that I paint it is just that it's like, it's a different way of living and it's totally fine. And it's nothing to be, it's fine. Everything's fine. It was fine where I came from and I'm fine now. It's kind of the gist of that.
And when
She
you leave the
sounds
room, we're kind of like,
fine.
that was, we're talking cannibalism, right? Like, like that's
Like she
it's
described it
not
as
really
eating
another way of
plants,
living.
but like plants are people.
Yeah.
Yeah. I'm vegetarian.
The most horrifying
Sure,
thing you could
Jan.
say to a character.
That's what you want to call it.
I will say this. Cherry's very, how do I put this? Very mechanical treatment of other living sentients reminds me a lot of people I knew way back when, and thus is both comforting and terrifying at the same time.
Fair.
Mhm.
A familiarity.
most-
That's awesome. I love that.
So people before this were eating each other as well, is what you were saying?
More like they treated people like tools to be discarded once they stop being useful.
Ooh, dark.
Anyway, that's our crew dynamics established, or at least a start to them. Feel free to take a look at everybody's characters between now and session 1, and if you have another thought about how you might be buddies with someone, let me know. We love buddies, we love dynamics, but I think we've got a good dramatic start here.
Yeah.
Hell yeah.
The final thing to say for today is that I had a bunch of unsetting questions I was going to give you, and these are kind of collaborative world building things where you share half-truths and legends about the world. I'm going to send those to you over email so you can think through some legend answers and help us kind of inform our own version of the Wildsea. But I think I'll give you one before we go, which is, what is a superstition about wild sailing that you all believe?
Ooh.
Ooh, can
Kendo?
Oh,
You
no.
have to
I
say
see
it
you
now.
stifling laughter.
No.
It's not going to be
Kendo?
one of the old sailor ones like people should bare their breasts. We're not going to do that, right?
No, it was like this is a thing that brings good luck, but it was
Squirrels. It was fucking squirrels, wasn't it?
It was bats. It was bats. That's why everyone was okay with all of the bats in the
That's
first
why we were
place.
okay with the bats,
Because we're like, oh, they're good luck.
They're a
And then
harbinger
they
of
became a
good luck.
person, but we shouldn't do that one. I don't think we should do that one.
I do actually like doing squirrels are a harbinger of good luck, and that's part of the reason we cracked you out of the amber.
Because we thought,
Oh my god.
Yeah.
That's
we wanted the
it.
squirrel.
Yeah, we were really hoping for the pet squirrel.
Really,
we
we
ended
wanted
up
the
getting both of you.
Yeah.
They tried to carve just the squirrel out, but you woke up too.
The squirrel's name is Ahab.
Fuck off.
Oh
my
okay.
God.
Ahab the squirrel.
Yeah.
Oh, wow. Well, as much as I now want to throw all of these questions at you and get all the juicy details, we are way over time, and I will send them to you over email and get more delightful world-building tidbits from you all. That is all for Session 0 of My First Dungeon Presents The Wildsea. Join us next week as our wild sailors set sail on the verdant waves. Bye-bye, everybody.
Bye.
Bye-bye.
Aye, aye.
Bye-bye.
Aye, aye.
Aye, aye, everybody.
Aye.
Aye, aye, says the fly.